Alright. The deserved downfall of pirate software.
Pirate Software.
Alright, I gotta see what this nigga done. To have the haters.
Will go down in history as one of the most spectacular downfalls the internet has ever seen. His Twitch viewership is a third of what it used to be, he's losing tens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube every day, and worst of all, he's become the lolcow of the internet, with millions of people raking him over the coals for everything he says or does. And at this point, he has no one to blame but himself.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like
So he's an egomaniac.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's the truth, cause Pirate Software said so. Something like that. It's crazy.
He could have avoided this entire controversy with just 3 words, I was wrong. But his ego and arrogance got in the way of him admitting fault.
Reminds me of somebody. It reminds me of somebody. Oh, actually 2 people, actually. It reminds me of 2 people. It reminds me of 2 people. Why can people just stop being egotistical? Stop being egotistical.
Turning him from a beloved and respected figure to one of the most hated personalities on the internet, all in a matter of days. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today, we're taking a look at how you've watched multiple of my videos and aren't yet subscribed. Just kidding. We're taking a look at the deserved downfall of Pirate Software, his monumental fall from grace, and how, even after losing everything, he's continuing to make the situation worse for himself.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope that your initiative gets everything you asked for, but nothing you wanted.
However, to fully grasp why the internet is so mad at Pirate Software, we have to understand what made him popular in the first place. Jason Hall, better known as Thor, originally started his career back in 2004 as a game developer for Blizzard.
Oh, he's a game developer for Blizzard, so that speaks a lot. And don't ever call him Thor.
The company that made titles like
that is a disrespect to Thor.
World of Warcraft, and Overwatch. After leaving his job at Blizzard, he worked at Amazon Studio for a while, before quitting from there as well and becoming a hacker for the US government.
So, after that, I ended up going to work for the United States Department of Energy because I'm a hacker, offensive security guy, and I hacked power plants for the federal government.
But after a year of doing his job, he resigned from there as well, and started working full-time on his indie game RPG named Heartbound in 2017. He also started doing daily live streams under the name of his studio, Pirate Software, showcasing his game development process on Twitch. However, while Heartbound saw some success in its early days, even getting played by Jacksepticeye at one point, he was still relatively unknown on the internet. But then, in 2022, he made a small decision that would end up changing his life forever. On January 17th, 2022, Thor posted his first short video on YouTube titled Imposter Syndrome. It was a clip from one of his Twitch streams where he gave valuable advice to an inexperienced developer.
I don't wish to fail myself because I'm terrified of actually releasing something to the world I've worked on for over 3 years. Dear God, I am so terrified.
Hey Thornstar, that feeling never goes away. It never does. I am constantly afraid to release every single piece of content I ever work on this game. I am constantly afraid to get onto stream and like not be, you know, whatever it is that people expect me to be. I am constantly afraid that I'm going to create content that no one wants to hang out with, that no one wants to look at, no one wants to care about. And that's just how that is. The thing is you can't stop. You shouldn't stop.
This ended up being a bigger success than he could have ever imagined, amassing over 850,000 views to date. More importantly, this short became a fantastic first impression for all these new viewers, who now saw him as someone exceptionally wise and intelligent. After seeing the potential of short-form content, Thor went all in on this new format and started posting shorts almost daily, and it wasn't long before they were picked up by the YouTube algorithm. As a result, Thor became a regular presence on the YouTube homepage, page for anyone even slightly interested in game development, bringing in millions of new viewers almost overnight. People also loved almost everything about his content, from his behind-the-curtain knowledge of game development.
Most publishers want 30 to 70% of your income from your game. 30 to 70%. Some of them want 100% upfront until they recoup their costs of marketing your game.
And random tips and tricks.
Take your mouse and you put your mouse inside of MS Paint, and then you hold spacebar, and then you use the arrow keys, you can draw like an Etch-a-Sketch.
To his odd and often amusing opinions.
They mixed Dr. Pepper and beans. They mixed Dr. Pepper and beans. Do they taste like Dr. Pepper? Hell yeah, they do. And they're amazing. They are delicious.
As a fan comment,
I'm sorry, but Dr. Pepper is like by far one of the nastiest fucking sodas ever.
under one of his first YouTube streams states, Thor, wow, first I've heard of you was yesterday from the shorts. You were everything I've been looking for in terms of knowledgeable game dev, storyteller, and straight up kind human. Keep it up, badass. The popularity of his content on YouTube also translated into his Twitch viewership skyrocketing past any expectations he might have had. It reached a point where he broke the Twitch hype train record 4 different times, and gained over 80,000 paid subscribers on the platform. By 2024, Thor's career had reached an all-time high. Millions of fans eagerly consumed everything he released, and the vast majority held him in very high regard. As a thankful viewer puts it, this is the most motivating and helpful individual I've found in the game dev space. And that's saying quite a lot, as most devs are so helpful and encouraging. This man makes me feel like my dreams are within my grasp, and that's so rare to find.
Imagine you have somebody that says this type of shit, so that says this nice stuff about you, and then you fuck it all up because you have a massive ego.
He was on track to become one of the legendary figures of online gaming, right alongside the likes of Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. But then, 2025 rolled around, and a single livestream nearly shattered the trust and support Thor had spent years building.
I didn't play well. Other people in the group didn't play well. They pinned it on me. That's it. There was one of the players that was very vocal about saying it was all my fault, and then the rest of the community rallied around it. And now it's become a content play for people to pick at me, and that's kind of it.
It all started on January 12th, 2025, when Thor decided to stream a hardcore World of Warcraft raid with other streamers and veteran players. At one point during the raid, the situation became dire, and instead of helping his teammates in any way, Thor decided to run away. This resulted in 2 other players' characters dying, which for those of you who aren't familiar with World of Warcraft hardcore, this means that those characters were now lost forever. The players would have to grind the game for weeks to get back to the same level again. But rather than admitting fault or even showing remorse, Thor decided to be arrogant about it and put all the blame on others.
Because you're angry right now. Of course I
Don't be angry.
You overpulled 2 packs. You overpulled 2 packs and a boss. I had 1,400 mana left. I had to spend all of that mana to try and put it on Blizzard to save you guys in the first place, and nothing left. You weren't paying attention to party resources. You overpulled, and you weren't paying attention to where the boss was. That's not on me.
This showed the egotistical side of Thor that, admittedly, was already present in his content.
It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible goddamn direction.
But his fans didn't pay much attention to it, since till this point, Thor was seen as a passionate, talented developer who genuinely cared about the gaming community, so his occasional cockiness was written off as confidence rather than a red flag. However, even after getting called out by other streamers,
What the hell, man? Why not just apologize?
Like I said, huge pirate fan, love the content. This is not the look.
Thor did not budge, and even doubled down.
Wants me to sit down.
So he just can't take accountability for his actions. So he's ego, and he can't take accountability. I'm not gonna lie, I thought there was gonna be more than that. I thought there was gonna be more than that, but so far I don't know if I can make a commentary off of just that. But you know, there's more into the story, so let's see.
Grovel on my knees and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage. I won't do it again. I'm so sorry that tank overpulled 2 packs and a boss. Oh man, oh god. Next time I'll save you from the big mean 2 packs and a boss that tank pulled. Like, are you kidding me, dude?
This incident put his behavior into a completely different light. While this controversy faded away in a few weeks, it formed the first crack in Thor's impeccable online reputation, and it's only been downhill from there. But to fully understand the controversy that's
So, like, it's not even halfway through the video, and oh boy. Okay, so the first instance is that he has a massive ego, and he can't take accountability for his actions. That's just crazy, man. That's just crazy. So you went from working for Blizzard and work for the federal government, and then you do some online shit, gaining over millions of views, thousands of viewers, some shit like that, and you decide to be a prick. Like, why can't people just be humble, man? Just fucking Christ, it's not that hard. Just be a good person.
killing Thor's career, we have to go back in time to the end of 2023. On December 14th, 2023, Ubisoft announced that it would be shutting down the servers for its multiplayer racing game called The Crew in April of 2024. However, unlike many other multiplayer games, where an internet connection is only needed for playing against others online, The Crew required players to be online at all times. In other words, Ubisoft shutting down the servers meant that players would no longer be able to access the game they paid for. This also meant losing access to the game's single-player campaign, which should have been fully offline. This sparked intense online backlash, as players felt like they were being robbed of the game they paid for with their hard-earned money. What made the situation even worse was that this wasn't the first game to shut down like this, and it was clear it wouldn't be the last. So to fight back against greedy publishers, Ross from Accursed Farms spent months creating a potential solution.
But now we have a new option, proposing new law, and for the entire European Union. It took months to get put together and processed, but now we have a European Citizens Initiative devoted to halting the destruction of video games. You can read it yourself. This would require publishers to leave games they have sold to customers in a working state at the time of shutdown, without requiring any further connection to them or affiliated parties for the games to function.
This solution took the form of a petition, which
If y'all hear the fan, sorry. My laptop is a little hot, need to cool it down a little bit.
unlike the largely useless Change.org petitions, had actual legal weight. If this petition reached 1 million signatures, lawmakers in the EU were legally required to discuss the matter in an official setting. And if passed, this new law would require game makers to ensure that their games are still playable after they stop supporting them.
We're just trying to stop games from being destroyed. That's it. So we're taking as narrow an approach as possible that still solves the problem. If we get enough signatures, then this goes before the European Union to be considered as new law.
This would be a net positive outcome for gamers around the world. Unfortunately, this initiative had one major weakness right from the get-go, and that was Ross's reach. You see, his subscriber count was just a third of the number of signatures needed to make this a success. And since he's based in the US, most of these subs weren't eligible EU citizens either. So to counteract this weakness, Ross called out other creators and asked them to spread the word about this initiative. He even made himself available for any interviews or follow-up discussions.
If you're watching this, you may be a critical link in all this, because you can tell other YouTubers, streamers, etc. about this initiative, and maybe they'll pick it up. Now, I'm offering myself for interviews, publicity on this issue, whatever, to almost anyone with a European audience of some size.
And that's where Thor entered the picture. He came across the Stop Killing Games initiative in August of 2024. Now, given his history of speaking in favor of the gamers and developers, and against greedy publishers, people naturally expected him to throw his full support behind the campaign. However, this couldn't have been further from the truth.
Now, this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is it. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Not only did he dislike the idea of Stop Killing
Why would you? Oh my god.
Games, his choice of words was harsh to say the least.
That is awful. That is a horrible gut direction. That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire end. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This sucks. That's a really stupid move. That's an incredibly stupid move. I think this is This is complete garbage. All of this can eat. Then I drop the mask entirely.
Bro, what a fucking asshole. The hell? Not gonna lie, it is wild how PirateSoftware is against this idea, but imagine if his game suffered the same fate as the crew. For real. Like he's talking all this shit. Like, your game could be fucking suffered from this shit too, right? Like, it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. Like, you don't need to be a fucking dick about it.
I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire...
This was a shock to many of his viewers, so Thor published 2 full videos to clarify his point of view further. And while these videos saw plenty of pushback from fans who were flabbergasted by his decision to oppose what they saw as something good, it ultimately resulted in the Stop Killing Games movement receiving significantly less support than it would have if Thor supported it as well. You have to remember that this was all before the World of Warcraft hardcore fiasco. Back then, the broader gaming community still viewed Thor as a beacon of insight and authority in game development. Ross tried to combat the negative reception by publishing a FAQ video to clear any misconceptions about Stop Killing Games. Unfortunately, this wasn't as effective as he would have liked, resulting in Stop Killing Games losing all momentum and essentially becoming dead on arrival. Is 2025 and turning an idea into an...
What a fucking piece of shit. What a fucking piece of shit. Bruh.
It looked like, despite Ross's good intentions, his initiative was doomed to fail spectacularly. But then, he did something that no one saw coming. On June 22nd, 2025, Ross uploaded an hour-long video titled "The End of Stop Killing Games," talking about the disappointing state of the petition.
The European Citizens Initiative failing kind of stings. Again, this one is crazy powerful, but the hurdle we just couldn't get past was that it requires 1 million signatures from citizens of EU countries. And we've only made it just under halfway.
And after thanking many of the creators that voiced their support for their campaign, he shifted his focus towards the elephant in the room, the one creator whose coverage was straight up poisonous for the initiative, Thor.
This video came out right as we were building momentum, then except for one boost in Germany, the signatures started drying up like clockwork.
Ross also revealed why he didn't make a direct response to Thor until now.
This put me in kind of a no-win scenario too. Because if I ignored it, then a lot of people are going to get misinformed about the campaign. But if I did a response video, which is not something I wanted to do anyway, then it might look like drama farming, which could understandably turn off a lot of people from the campaign, because it's not about that at all. So I quickly made this video trying to clear up all misconceptions and concerns about the initiative, with timestamps for everyone's questions, hoping the truth would eventually come out. I can see now that was a mistake. I should have just embraced the drama.
At this point, Stop Killing Games was already on track to be a failure, so this video was one last push from Ross to make a difference. Surprisingly, this worked better than anyone could have ever expected, and one big reason for that was what Ross revealed about Thor, because, as it turned out, Thor misunderstood and misrepresented the whole thing.
If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them.
Oh no! He wheeled out that line about publishers having to support the game forever. He was literally watching the video earlier where it says it won't do that in big letters. That wasn't enough. We just can't stop gamers from going there, even when we spell it out.
And Ross was having none of
This
it.
part hurts. To see the biggest voice on this issue get it wrong again and again and again, then put that same wrong information on blast to a far bigger audience than we can reach. It hurts.
Yep, it just comes to show that not everyone with a big audience knows how to read.
Doesn't get it. He doesn't understand what we're asking for.
He even called out the clear contradiction Thor made in his own argument just seconds apart.
I think live service games getting sunsetted is fine. I've always thought that. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I have no problems with the end of a video game.
See, I wish he started his big YouTube video with that message instead of deleting it. Instead, he presented himself as pro-preservation and not wanting the medium to die out.
It's incredibly important to me that we keep making games and that the next generation has the tools to do so their medium doesn't die out. And it never will. And that's the whole intention of all of this.
So he doesn't want games to die out, except he's fine with that. I think there's some cognitive dissonance going on there.
This video showed that Thor's distaste for the Stop Killing Games initiative is based on complete misinterpretations, which in turn called his credibility as an experienced and knowledgeable developer in question. However, before Thor had even a chance to respond,
If a game developer decides to stop with the live service game, they should release the source code for the public. The devs of TF2 did this years ago after the game stopped getting updates. Yeah, that is true. I mean, if people still want to play the game, like just let them. I mean, you can stop supporting the game, but just like give them access to the game that you're not supporting anymore, and just let them have it. It's the same thing with MK1. They're not supporting that game anymore, so you know they released the definitive edition and just let people play their games.
Ross's new video reached the one man who could bring this issue to a mainstream audience, Charlie.
And there is an initiative that has been aiming to fight back against a lot of these practices that I think really need some big overhaul. Stop destroying things that people have paid money to own. I think that is a very understandable, very reasonable take, very agreeable.
And he called out Thor's incorrect interpretation of the initiative as well.
He didn't even get the Cliff Notes summary right. He missed all the QTEs and got the bad ending on understanding the initiative from the jump here. Ross is correct. This has nothing to do with just single-player only games that require an online connection, that when the online connection is severed, you lose access to the game. Like, yeah, that is included in all of this, but that's not like what the whole movement is about. And for some reason, Pirate Software is stun-locked on that, like fixated, as if that is the actual like meat and potatoes of Stop Killing Games. They need to be more specific in their language about it being single-player, always online connectivity games. When that's just not what it's about. Like, they're not being specific about that because that is not what they are specifically targeting.
This video from Charlie was a godsend for Stop Killing Games, as it exposed the idea to over 3.4 million people. More importantly, it highlighted Thor's flawed take and the damage it did to an otherwise positive movement. Following Charlie's video, several other creators also came forwards with their support for the initiative, including Jacksepticeye, The Actman, PewDiePie, and many more. The story was also picked up by countless commentary YouTubers, resulting in Thor once again receiving pushback for his opposition of Stop Killing Games. But unlike last time, where it sort of fizzled out within weeks, the backlash wasn't showing any signs of slowing down. He started losing subscribers and followers across all platforms, and everything he did online got flooded with dislikes and angry comments, like, essentially, you will own nothing and be happy. I reject that. Achievement unlocked, being wrong on all levels. Many of these commenters were even his own loyal fans, who now saw him as a corporate shill more than a genuinely well-intentioned developer. As a casual follower ever since the beta release of Heartbound, this is extremely disappointing to watch. The backlash was so overwhelming that it seemed like nothing he said could soften the blow or calm the outrage. However, that's not true. He still had a chance to retain some of the trust his viewers had put in him. All he had to do was admit fault, apologize, and support the Stop Killing Games initiative. But knowing Thor, that was never going to happen. Just as he did after the hardcore World of Warcraft incident, Thor decided to double down here as well and stick to his stance, regardless of how wrong he was, stating, "For those that will scream he's doubling down, yes, I am. I give about this initiative and what it means for games, developers, and players in the future." Near the end of this tweet, he also stated, "Just because I don't support this doesn't mean you should blindly follow me in that. Just because I said pretty words on the internet, you also shouldn't blindly bash me because some other creator said to. Watch the videos I put out, read the initiative, decide for yourself, apply critical thinking, and don't outsource it to others." Completely disregarding the response.
Wow.
responsibility he had as a creator that millions looked up to at one point. Not to mention, this also went against what he said in his initial reaction.
This is it's not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
This attitude only angered the internet more, forcing him to step away from off-brand games, the game studio Ludwig founded with his friends. However, Thor couldn't help but turn this into a source of embarrassment as well. You see, he announced his leave in a tweet, reading, "I'm no longer working at off-brand games. People were attacking all of the games we were publishing and trying to mass review bomb them. You can dislike the things I say, but this kind of behavior is unhinged." But when people checked—
Really? Really? So your response to the stop killing games thing wasn't unhinged? When you're saying, oh, not only that I'm not going to back this up, I'm going to tell people not to back this up. Because I said so. Not the fact that, the whole stop killing game thing is wrong or any of the sort. You're just actively just doing all this shit for no reason. Like, you are completely unhinged, my nigga.
to the games published by off-brand games, they did
Off-brand game is also cooked because of the logo situation.
to find a noticeable uptick in negative reviews. In other words, Thor straight up lied about his reasoning for leaving the studio. He could have simply been honest and admitted that he was stepping away to prevent any backlash from hitting the studio, which had nothing to do with his personal opinions, but his ego wouldn't let him. Instead, he chose to lie and ended up getting caught red-handed. That said, all the hate towards Thor did have the positive effect of making the Stop Killing Games movement go viral. This has resulted in it not only reaching its goal within days, but shooting past it with over 200,000 more at the time of writing. Thor, however, still cannot admit defeat. After the petition reached its goal, he made a tweet that contained a mixture of denial and boasting at the same time, stating, "The most interesting narrative is that my video somehow killed the initiative. This graph showed that the initiative already had a downward trend in interest when my videos dropped. My videos do not seem to have had any impact on the movement at all. Making me the villain did though. Best of luck with your next steps." And as expected from him at this point, he was completely wrong once again. The graph he shared showed the lifetime signatures for the petition. If we zoom into the first 2 months instead, we can clearly see the momentum fall off a cliff the second Thor reacted to Stop Killing Games on his stream.
You're a game developer and you can't read. Oh my god.
As for his line about becoming the quote villain, Charlie had some necessary feedback on that.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like stone cold fucking Steve Austin. And that's the truth, cause PirateSoftware said so. Something like that. It's crazy how he's responded. The smugness is nails on a chalkboard. It just makes you feel icky listening to it.
Even when he's trying to back down, he can't help but create more drama.
I have been called a zoo, corporate plant, degenerate, narcissist, nepo baby, and many other names. And they attacked all the
And a prom night dumpster baby. Don't forget about that.
accomplishments over my life, despite physical evidence to prove to the contrary. And they also went after every job I ever held, trying to say that I never worked them, or if I did work them, that I never deserved them. So I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that your initiative gets everything you asked for, but nothing you wanted.
Effectively saying that what Stop Killing Games is asking for is not what gamers want, and somehow he's the only one who knows this. Which makes sense when you consider the fact that even Dr. K, a trained psychologist, recognized Thor as a highly arrogant person.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. I don't see it that way, but all right.
At the end of the day, Thor is simply too far gone. He had months to set things right, but he didn't, because in his mind, he could never be wrong. Now, that egotistical viewpoint has become the reason for his disastrous yet deserved downfall, leaving him with two options for the future. He can still admit that he was wrong and apologize. This wouldn't stop the backlash anytime soon, but some people will recognize his attempt to correct his mistake and start supporting him again, allowing him to eventually build a solid fan base once again, or he can continue down the path he's already going, stay firm on his stance, and eventually turn into the perpetual lolcow of the internet, where the only time someone remembers him is to make fun of him. Of course, he could also try to make a comeback in the future and fail miserably, just like the Liver King. Click the video on screen.
Okay. So he's a egomaniac, he's an asshole, and he's arrogant. Okay, I can probably make something of the sort on that. This is 8 days ago, so see about
This
this.
streamer has been destroying his career over the last few months, as for some reason there's just like this massive disconnect between his audience and the internet and him. And he might have just put his career in jeopardy by breaking Twitch's terms of service and potentially committing fraud. And I mean, overall, this has just been one of the craziest domino effects of nothing burgers that I've seen in a long time. But
Alright. So PirateSoftware is a locale. That's something. Alright. PirateSoftware. My name is Thor. Please remove that fucking name. Your name is not fucking Thor. You're streaming for 10 hours. Damn, nigga. Alright, 7 days ago. Is there any like clips I can look at? Recent highlights. Last month. 7 months. 5 months. Clips. View botting. Okay. Everything crab. Pythos, TTS, Pythos. Oh, so there's a TTS on there. Okay, I'm assuming it's a troll one. That's wild. Ketchup. Kane. Or Cunt, I don't know. I can probably do this quite strange. Yeah, he's an egomaniac. I could probably make something out of that, although I had to look through his streams and shit like that, cause like I'm not gonna lie, if I wanted to do this, if I wanted to make a commentary, I would have to get some like clips or some shit, or like any documents or thread or any of the sort. Or I could probably just look at Lord Crust's video, but that shit's 3 hours long. I don't know. I don't know if my laptop can handle that.
But as usual, he doesn't even understand why people are frustrated with him to begin with. Essentially, what's been happening to his career over the last few months is death by a million cuts. There is no massive drama or controversy that has really caused all of this. It's rather just countless moments of him messing up and refusing to acknowledge any of his mistakes whatsoever. And then
So it's just that. Alright. I could probably make something out of it.
when he refuses to acknowledge any mistake, he then doubles down and tries to gaslight everyone by saying, actually, I'm the one who's right, no matter what. I mean, if PirateSoftware was placed on an island with a rock and whoever admitted they were wrong first would get to leave the island, they would both be stuck there forever. So obviously, today we're talking about the streamer by the name of PirateSoftware. And to give you a very brief backstory, he left his entire team to die in a video game where you only have one life. He constantly critiques games and their developers, even attacking a whole movement that protects older games from becoming outdated. He seems to have some god complex he acquired because he worked at Blizzard as a website security guy. And also, by the way, if you didn't know, he's definitely worked at Blizzard. Oh, and he also worked as a person who detected cheaters in their games, which is kind of ironic considering recently he was exposed for blatantly cheating in puzzle games. How
do you cheat in puzzle game? What?
Basically, he was on his phone during the stream and suddenly went, "Oh, I know the answer." And everyone was like, "Well, is that because you Googled it, dude?" So Pirate then responded via stream and said that he did not cheat and seemed pretty taken aback that people even thought that he would ever cheat.
Why did you cheat in Outer Wilds? What? How the hell would you cheat in that game? Bro, we played it all live on stream.
Yeah, good question, PirateSoftware. How do you cheat in a puzzle game? Who cheats in a puzzle? My nigga, just say you're not good.
Alright, bud. It's a wild-ass thing to say. What the hell?
Essentially, this dude is a love child of hypocrisy and deniability. Oh, and again, did I mention that he worked at Blizzard?
I was watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much.
I have never heard someone say someone cheat in a puzzle game. Exactly! How do you cheat in a fucking puzzle game?
Literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment.
Oh yeah, chat. He worked at Blizzard. That's actually my first time in my life that a person said that. Yeah. Cheating in a puzzle game is fucking insane. Imagine you cheat in Tetris. The easiest game on the planet. Imagine you cheat in fucking Tetris. I feel like this nigga would do that shit. He saw that he lost like a lot of games in Tetris. He's just like, yeah, let me just code this thing here, okay? Let me just code this and that, and then I can win the games. Bro, Tetris is the easiest game ever, bro. There's no reason for you to cheat on that. Come on.
Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard. Is having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard.
I don't think I'm better than other people. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk...
That's like you're saying you don't know how to play Squirrel Girl type.
...talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting. When in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this. Yeah. That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
But I guess things have just got a whole lot worse because it was like 2 weeks ago since we made a 14-minute long video discussing most of this stuff. If you thought things were bad 2 weeks ago, they've got a whole lot worse. I mean, you have dudes who've been making, 14 videos in a row on essentially everything this guy has done since then. So, apparently a lot is going on.
I could probably look into that.
And we'll talk about that channel in a little bit because Pirate has actually responded to some of the allegations from that channel. But either way, Pirate has received a lot of attention in the last couple of months. And I think it's the wrong kind, not the one that he wanted, because he's lost nearly 250,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 100,000 followers on Twitch, which is absolutely insane. I mean, you would think with losses like that he would be guilty of something crazy. But
exactly, like fucking grooming and some shit. No, this nigga's just ego is. My man just has a massive ego. Damn.
Said, as I kind of hinted to previously, it's just kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. And it's not even real cuts. It's just like paper cuts that he won't take any accountability for. So our question for today is, why did all this happen? Well, this all came because PirateSoftware, he was streaming on April 1st of this year and accidentally leaked a message between him and his moderator that suggests that he encouraged him to gift paid subscriptions and bits. Bits, by the way, are Twitch's currency. It's like a form of donating on Twitch. And I get to many of you guys, this would be extremely confusing. Why would a streamer want their moderator to be giving them money? To simplify things, there's a feature on Twitch called a hype train.
A hype train. Essentially, the more you get donations or gifts in a short amount of time, it raises the level of this hype train.
And on April 1st of this year, Pirate broke a record for the longest Twitch hype train.
Last year, on April 1st, back in 2024, Twitch's hype train record smashed again by PirateSoftware. And they go into detail about Pirate breaking the Twitch hype train world record, with his channel reaching level 106 on April 1st. Once the hype...
What? For that goober? 106? Who is giving money to this nigga? Give me some of that. Oh, shut up. What?
train was initiated, it took Hall roughly 3 hours to beat his previous level 55 world record from December, with viewers contributing 54,380 gifted subs.
How much is that? How much money? Oh, he's loaded. This nigga's loaded. Who is giving this nigga money?
Alongside regular
Because he worked at Blizzard? Oh, hey guys, I worked at Blizzard. Yeah, no, give me money. 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 Give me. I was like, what the fuck?
Subscriptions and 8.2 million bits, likely earning Hall a healthy six-figure sum in the process.
So why does this matter? Well, on April 1st of this year, Pirate Software went live with the intention of beating this record again, because it had been beaten by another streamer by the name of Vidal. Randomly, during his stream, he accidentally opened his Discord chat with his moderator.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make... What?
Uh-oh. Yeah, so as you can see, some tomfoolery was happening. Uh-oh.
Did 50k bits at 20 seconds? Okay. What is the alt account? Oh. Oh, this is some. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Oh, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, so as you can see, some tomfoolery was happening. Out of all the chat logs for him to open on stream, he literally opens the chat log where he's communicating with a moderator of donating money to keep the hype train going, and the mod even states which account he's donating through, called Serendipitous Bean. And then to make things worse, they try to make that account look like it's not the moderator who's donating all this money to keep the hype train going and for him to inevitably beat that record. Yeah, that doesn't look great. So now he's not only allegedly cheating in puzzle solving games, but also allegedly cheating for Twitch donation records. Now, he just responded to those allegations that were originally, from what I know, brought into the spotlight by the YouTuber Quintheo. So here, we're going off of screenshots that Ock20000 took from Pirate's Discord. But here, you can see that Pirate added everyone in his Discord and said, a content creator called Quintheo is continuously farming ad revenue by making false claims and drama content about me. Recently, he claimed that Kronos broke TOS by giving bits/subs to the Giga Train in April. Kronos used his own money to do this and can do what he...
Hold on, I'm gonna look into this channel, Quintheo. I'm gonna look into this channel. Quintheo. Oh my. Politics, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 8. Bro, it should not be that damn deep. It should not be that damn deep. Oh, 18 videos on Pirate Software? Bro. That is insane.
He likes with that money. Below is some information with receipts about all of that to refute the false claims about the situation. The creator has changed his entire brand into Pirate Software hate content for profit, as shown in image 4. Prior to this year's April 1st Giga Train going live, I made the announcement that I would be receiving 0% of the profits. Of the profits from the train, 50% would be going to the moderation team and 50% would be given to the ferret rescue. This announcement was made on March 29th, 2025, so the community was well informed of this. You can find this and attached as image 1. The total income from the Giga Train was 75,000 rounded up to the nearest thousand. This means that half of the train was 37,500, and that amount was then split 15 ways to all the staff besides me. That means each staff member received 2,500. This was announced to the community on April 9th, 2025. You can find this attached in image 2. Kronos threw 75,000 bits, 100 T1 subs, and 40 T3 subs during the Giga Train at around level 60 plus. He bought all of this in pounds, which came out to about 2,000 pounds or 2,800 bucks after conversions. You can find these transactions attached in image 3. Further, Subs are not one-to-one conversion, and neither are bits. The subs show up as about 68% of the overall contribution coming through, and bits are normally 82% when purchased in USD. However, doing this in pounds makes the conversion much worse. This means you were spending about 300 pounds or about $400 to get $250 in bits, which is a 62% conversion rate. So in total, Kronos spent $2,815.75 to add 1,830 to the value of the Gigatrain, which was then cut in half to 915, because half was given to the rescue and split 15 ways to all staff members as $61. All staff are paid in USD and must convert to their own currency, which is another loss on top of this. Each conversion reduces the total income for any divided staff member that wishes to do this. And he sums it up with the TLDR that no, Kronos was not directed to do this. He was not compensated for this. Yes, he lost money from doing this. No, the Twitch TOS was not broken, no matter how many people try to claim otherwise.
He lost money donating to this nigga. I hope you're proud of yourself. You about to be in debt, dumbass.
You now have the receipts and the math to prove this. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, well, what stands out for me here is why didn't he address, them purposely plotting to donate under another account than Kronos' main account to keep the train alive? It just seems dishonest for your mod to be donating under a fake account that even says in the bio that he was a friend of Kronos and not Kronos himself. And another interesting point is Quinthio, he said in the comments of one of his videos that he had talked to Kronos. And here he claims that Kronos said that he wasn't reimbursed. But according to Thor's response here, Kronos would have actually received $2,500, which would make him almost fully reimbursed here. But Pirate follows up that first message with this. Now for the 1-2 punch against this BS. Quinthio's Discord has people actively doxing me in it. Okay, that's really bad. His moderation team is aware of this and has been encouraging it as shown in the images. They have also been digging into Shay and her job as a secondary attack vector. In image 1, Shelf Related, who is a mod, asks for doxing info directly. We've forwarded all of this to Discord Trust and Safety as a result. We've also banned all the users that were taking part of this from our Discord. Yeah, I mean, if this is true, that's not cool at all. Like, no matter what you think about a creator, you should never be posting their address or work address on the internet, nor should you really have a scavenger hunt within your public Discord to try to find it. That just comes across as extremely obsessive and creepy. Now, I'm only taking Pirate's word for that here because I haven't been inside of
God damn it. I'll be right back. This might take a while. But let's continue.
Of Quinthio's Discord to see what was actually going on, but if that's true, that's definitely not a good look. Then, Pirate's last message in the series of posts said, "No, Quinthio, my address is not public information, and your users are distributing it on your Discord while the mods encourage it. They didn't just go after me and Shay either, they went after our moderation team too, as shown here. You cannot BS this away. Leave me and my team alone." I mean, that's fair. Like, Pirate has plenty of public actions and statements that are free game to critique all you want, but you shouldn't be going for their addresses no matter what. And come on, I mean, that shouldn't even be a hot take. Honestly, it's just crazy that things snowballed to this point for him, as this dude's YouTube channel
Bro, let me tell you, I know a whole group of people that, you know what, let me not.
in general is just in free fall as we speak. As I previously mentioned, he's lost over 250,000 subs and over 100,000 followers on Twitch. Like, that is insane. It went from some awful World of Warcraft classic plays, which he refused to admit any fault to, and then he just like slowly cascaded into more and more small things that he messed up and wouldn't admit any fault to, because the WoW situation then turned into the stop killing game situation, which then brought the spotlight to his own video game and then another game studio that he used to be associated with called Off-Brand Games. Because as a month ago, he had to completely step back from that game studio, as he announced here. And Ludwig, who is one of the founders of that studio, thanked him for doing so. And that then brings us to Pirate's game called Heartbound. This game has been in production for a very long time, and Pirate has not been silent about criticizing other games in the past, like Undertale, who many claim his game has taken a lot of
that game looked like shit
inspiration from.
Undertale is the best example of this. Undertale is made by Toby Fox. Undertale is a brilliant goddamn game. It's very good. It's also coded like shit. And that's fine. If you look at the decompiles that people have done of Undertale, you'll find that there are rooms that have hundreds of if statements checking the same value, then it sets it to 0, then it checks it again before doing anything. Meaning all of those if statements did nothing except for take processing power. There are sections of the game that show, like, oh, here's an example. All the dialogue in all of Undertale is in a single switch case statement in one object. It's thousands and thousands of cases long. Single object, all of the dialogue in the game, hard-coded into that object. Insane. Insane behavior. But it doesn't matter. You can be bad at programming and make a brilliant game that changes the entire industry.
So obviously, if you're talking like that, you better have some really good code when it comes to your game. And to even double down on that, Pirate went on to say that his game was uncrackable. You could not pirate his game, which someone proved to be wrong very quickly. In this pretty viral thread on Twitter, the user by the name of Peach2K2 pointed out that the code is messy and badly organized. It has lots of inconsistent formatting, confusing variable names, and missing comments make it hard to follow. Essentially, Peach here waved a red flag about Pirate Software's technical skills and professionalism when it comes to coding games. And this also caused more people from the game dev community to start looking into this guy's code. And this includes a guy that goes by Coding Jesus. And here he made a 14-minute video where he essentially says the code of his game is embarrassing.
Honestly, if I was claiming I'm a game developer with 20 years of experience, this would be embarrassing to have online.
So Pirate took offense to that, and he went on to claim that his game Heartbound, it was coded so well that it could run on a smart fridge to show its efficiency.
The ego.
But it turns out the game was allegedly ran on a PC and mirrored to the fridge screen.
It is irrelevant to increase performance on a game that runs on a smart fridge.
The day my devastating video on Pirate Software's slop lighting system dropped, he did an 8-hour cope stream, justifying the slop by referring to the fact that his game runs on a smart fridge. So let's
look at that. My game can run on a smart fridge. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares.
Analyze what's really going on. Here's the video of Heartbound running, quote-unquote, on a smart fridge. Let's rewind a little. What do we notice here? We notice that the game is actually being run on a laptop and streamed to the fridge using a Raspberry Pi device.
Oh, God. Get fucking exposed, bitch.
If we zoom in a little closer, you can see it says connecting to Heartbridge, which is the name of the laptop and the hotspot connection he set up. In this case, the screen simply acts as a controller. Everything is running on the laptop, and the actual output is just being streamed back to the smart fridge. The fridge isn't computing anything itself. To emphasize this, here's a video of a washing machine running Death Stranding.
So when your game runs at perfect performance on a smart fridge inside of a Lowe's, come back and talk shit.
So Pirate made that video revolving the fridge, and we already saw Coding Jesus' response. So I guess, again, he made some weird response to try to make himself look like a genius. It's never that serious, and I'm very confused in why he's trying so hard to come across as like the smartest dude in the room. Because by trying to do so, he's kind of proving to the world that he's not that. I mean, the dude is just actively destroying his career live by continuing to double down rather than admit fault.
Boy, let me tell you something. That blue screen was about to happen.
And fixing mistakes. He's like, imagine if his response was, yeah, this is my first game, I'm trying my best here, thank you guys for supporting me, rather than allegedly staging this whole Best Buy refrigerator clip, which he only got caught doing because he was being sloppy, in a similar way that he got caught with the whole donation train thing. Either way though, I mean, this dude is guilty of committing cringe, but under no circumstances should he nor anyone close to him be doxxed. But I mean, hey, at least he didn't get like $6 billion in contracts and build only half a house like Akon did in Africa, because that's just an insane story that I would recommend you guys checking out there.
Fucking Christ. So he's just a piece of shit. Bro, what is that face? Why would he even make that face in the first place? Jesus Christ. So this shit is kind of crazy. This shit is kind of crazy. So, okay, so let me get this straight. Let me get all this shit straight. Lonely Akon. Yep. I do what I do. Wait, why is the chat not loading? What the fuck? Oh, this fucking thing is a piece of shit. Anyways, so what I understand here is that his ego is way too fucking high, right? He thinks that he's like the best game developer of all time or some shit. His ego is way too fucking massive. I can make something out of that. And then apparently he has, cheated on the whole hype train thing, having his mods, donating money, essentially losing money, allegedly losing money in order to like donate to this nigga. And yeah, I can probably make something out of that. I just need like clips and some shit, or maybe Lord Crust can provide that link. Every lie of the internet, most arrogant fraud.
PirateSoftware, otherwise known as Moldavia's Fig.
Fucking 3 hours, man. Like, goddamn, my laptop cannot handle that shit. Alright, ooh, there is a dog. Wait, there is a dog. Hold on. Okay. PirateSoftware, aka Jason Hall, as he comically calls himself, Thor, is an ego-driven fraud who has built his entire career on a facade of an identity. from exaggerating or lying about his credentials and experience in video game hacking and game development to claiming he has a second puberty at 33 that caused his voice to drop for a second time. His game Heartbound, which was promised to have its full release roughly 8 years ago, is a spaghetti cold unfinished mess that he used to kickstart his career and scam his audience of upwards of $19,000. Wait, you scam motherfuckers for 19? A Dr. Phil commented, "Get the fuck out of here." When people expose, made fun of, or criticize Jason's immoral, selfishly motivating lies and general wretchedness, he has shown a liking to Bridgerton, the critique with reports from his community and abusing the copyright system in order to silence them. Although this behavior has always been prevalent in how he acts, it was brought to the forefront amusedly because he refused to take accountability for a misplay in World of Warcraft and an obsession with being the most intelligent person in the room when it comes to the Stop Killing Game petition. Within this video, I cover all of this and much more in great detail, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. $19,000. Okay, well, it's not the biggest scam because like Logan Paul scammed a ton of people, and so is the Hawk Tuah chick, Holly A. Welch. But that shit is just crazy, bro. That shit is just crazy. Is this all of it from the World of Warcraft? Oh, wow, I'm getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Yep. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Did you hear the entitlement there here? Oh, I can't even click the link. There's a lot of links. Okay, I might have to look up in all this shit. So another ego-driven dickhead. Okay, there's a timestamp on here, so I've probably seen some of it. Wait a minute, it's not that long of a text. The Dermal incident, the lightning ball, that shit, serial cheater. Okay, I'm probably gonna watch this off live because it's 3 fucking hours. I might have to clip something out of this. But 3 hours, man. Jesus. All right. Okay. Let me. I'm not gonna watch the whole lot of them. 3 fucking. I'm not gonna watch. Okay, I've already seen stuff about that. Mass flagger, false identity. Ooh, I could probably make something out of this.
Welcome to the finding out timeline, bud.
Would it be a shock to anyone if I told you that Pirate Software is not a stranger when it comes to making false reports or abusing copyright with DMCA claims? The first potential example of this I have brings us all the way back to Diamond. Remember how Pirate Software was talking about how he's going to report streamers who were leading a hate raid against him? Well, there's one streamer in particular that I personally believe Pirate Software was referring to, and that would be a streamer by the name of Joker. Why, you may be wondering? Well, I think this clip in which Joker talks about Pirate Software directly after the Diamond incident may have something to do with it.
I honestly fuck Pirate Software. Like, straight up, bro, this dude is a complete fraud. At least in the WoW space, I don't care if he worked for fucking Blizzard. The guy probably made fucking coffee for some devs. I don't even believe for a second he coded anything in this game. I don't, like, dude, nothing at all. Alright? Bro, guy probably fucking was interning there for a week. I'm not gonna believe a word that comes out of his mouth. I don't give a fuck. nothing at all matters that comes out of your mouth from this point onwards to me because of how you acted yesterday. And that's the bottom line, alright? Maybe some fucking 90 IQ retard over on fucking YouTube Shorts will believe it, but over here, buddy, we got a fucking brain, alright? You ain't gonna farm shit from me, or probably most people in my fucking chat. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, let's move on forward.
I just started on this.
Okay. Then
I think Joker's statements about him being a coffee delivering intern would be Pirate Software's main motivation, because as I will establish in the next part, the Nepo baby shit gets him fucking beyond butthurt. Either way, the following day, Joker left a response to one of Pirate Software's various rambles on Twitter, stating, "Just take the L, it's not that hard." To which Pirate Software ominously responded, "Hope this was worth it for you." 17 days later, this happens on Joker's stream.
I appreciate it, guys. Alright, let's watch the
Oh nah, bro. Perfection was trying to do the same shit. He was trying to take down my fucking video that was about him. Oh man. Man.
Let me click review content to see what got struck down.
Oh man. I can imagine if I made the video on Pirate Software. You tried to copyright strike my shit. Buddy, my shit is protected under fair use. Try it, bitch.
It's the pirate video. Yeah. Harassment and cyberbullying policy. F. Well, there you go. I don't think I've ever had that happen.
So yeah, there isn't any direct evidence that Pirate Software made this particular report. It very well could have been one of his fans or something, but just considering the fact that Pirate Software was openly talking about reporting streamers who were leading a hate raid against him, it does not paint a favorable image. This image only gets worse for him when we take a look at some of the other examples, like the one laid out by the YouTuber The Other Frost. An indie game developer by the name of Brandon Ferrantino, also known as Private Parts, was working on a game called Idle Streaming Bonanza around the time the Diamo incident was popping off. So he wanted to include some references to Pirate Software and subsequently added some audio of Jason during the Diamo incident to his game and posted a clip of it to LSF.
As much as you're angry right now, of course I ran. Evocation's on cooldown, man.
This, however, caught the attention of Pirate Software, so he filed a DMCA takedown notice for the Idle Streaming Bonanza Steam page. The thing is, the audio clip of Pirate Software was not in the Steam version of the game. It was only within Private Parts' personal build of the game. So this is a completely false takedown notice, no matter how you put it. Private Parts subsequently filed a counterclaim and opened a ticket within Pirate Software's Discord server, in which he spoke to Pirate Software's room temperature IQ mods, one of which named Kronos. Pirate Software received this complaint while he was streaming and went on to state this.
Hey, Kronos. We have to file a legal complaint against that dude earlier. I'm gonna pause this for a moment. There was a dude earlier today that went onto Reddit and said that he was using my voice in a video game, showed a bunch of videos of it, and then put that game up on Steam. A lot of people in the thread told him not to do that, that would end up being a legal problem for him. He did it anyway. So I filed a DMCA claim, and he has now filed a counterclaim against me. We're going to take you to court. You're going to lose. You cannot use somebody's likeness or voice in any way inside of your games without their permission. It's a really stupid thing to do, incredibly so. So I'm going to send this over to Kronos now because he is a lawyer in copyright law. That is his job. Mistake. Kronos, we have 14 days to respond to this. Forwarded. Welcome to the finding out timeline, bud.
Oh, Kronos is a lawyer, is he? Well, according to Kronos himself in a conversation with Private Parts, that is most definitely not the case.
Alright, so here's the ones between me and my lawyer and Kronos. I am attempting to reach the attorney working under the handle Kronos. I sent him DMs some hours ago and I believe he hasn't seen them. This concerns an actual legal matter and I need to bring the messages to his attention. Hello, not an attorney, just to be clear. He said, oh, very well, I thought Mr. Hall represented a fellow named Kronos as an actual copyright attorney. Do you know whether Mr. Hall has counsel concerning the DMCA takedown? I imagine you were the same individual in the ticket yesterday. fucking crazy.
Now, I'm no lawyer, but I'm fairly certain that pretending to be one while slinging around legal threats is illegal. Do you know what isn't illegal though? Making a fair use parody of someone, which is most definitely how I would describe Private Parts' implementation of Pirate Software into his personal build of the game. Yeah, good luck suing Private Parts, Jason. I'm sure that'll go down real fucking well for you.
Welcome to the finding out timeline, bud.
Unfortunately for Jason, a real lawyer who keeps his eye on internet stuff by the name of Mario Serrame caught wind of this case and it pissed him the fuck off. So he took Private Parts on as a client free of charge and made a formal demand to Pirate Software to rescind the takedown notice. I'm fairly certain this worked and Pirate Software has dropped this legal endeavor because Idle Streaming Bonanza is back up on Steam and I haven't heard about any new court cases involving old Moldavius. That doesn't mean I haven't heard of more examples of Jason abusing report buttons though. A YouTuber by the name of Card Posting released a video on the 1st of July titled "You Should Hate Pirate Software," which is currently sat at 12,000 views. Within the video, Card Posting basically just outlines how Pirate Software had been a jackass in regards to the Stop Killing Games stuff. Apparently, one of the people who happened across Card Posting's video when it had around 9,000 views was Pirate Software, because according to Card Posting, he had attempted to report the video to YouTube for violating the terms of service in regards to harassment, which, yeah, that does sound like his MO. And apparently he also encouraged his audience to go comment underneath the video.
On YouTube, falsely, maliciously, knowingly misusing reporting tools to get other people's content taken down is meant to be a very big no-no. It's something that, if you do repeatedly, is supposed to very well mean you yourself will be removed from the platform permanently. And I believe Jason Thor Hall has a long history of doing exactly this, and has surely crossed any reasonable threshold of how much doing that should get someone removed from YouTube for the sake of other users.
Card Posting at this point was still yet to provide receipts, as he was hoping that Pirate Software would notice his video and then they could sort things out amicably, which, yeah, of course that didn't happen. So Card made a follow-up a week later on July 12th, 2025, in which he claimed several small YouTubers with channel sizes in the hundreds of subscribers had reached out to him with similar stories of being falsely reported on the basis of a terms of service violation. Card additionally stated that some of them had claimed to have been DMCA claimed by Pirate Software if they had included some of his content within their video. Again, however, Card Posting included no evidence for this, stating that he was working on a website that would compile all of the claims and evidence into one place. Now, as much as this does sound exactly like Jason's MO, I could not in good faith include Card Posting's story without evidence. So I reached out to Card Posting and requested that he gave me a screenshot of the email from Google saying that one of his videos was reported or taken down, and he did indeed provide. Within the email, you can see that Card Posting's video, Pirate Software and Postal 2, hashtag shorts, hashtag Pirate Software, hashtag Stop Killing Games, was taken down for breaking YouTube's harassment policy. Card Posting additionally linked to the video in question, and it indeed does not work due to a violation of YouTube's terms of service. Again, this is not necessarily solid evidence of Pirate Software going out and reporting small creators' channels, but it definitely does not look good circumstantially. Either way, if what Card Posting is claiming is true, Pirate Software obviously name searches himself and watches for criticism like a hawk. I wonder if he can make it through this video for long enough to reach this point. If so, hi Jason, I hope you've enjoyed the show. I will be fighting back if you try falsely claiming or striking my video. Oh shit, scratch that. As I was finishing up this video, Card Posting emailed me a link to the website which did deliver the evidence Card Posting claimed he had. Some of the examples he cited I've already covered within this video, such as Joe Curd, Private Parts, or Card Posting himself, but there were several examples that I was not aware of or just forgot to mention until now. For starters, there's Yeet, Twitter's self-proclaimed streamer TMZ, who had several Pirate Software clips struck down on the basis of copyright infringement. Pirate Software denied this and claimed it was someone else impersonating him. However, he didn't present any evidence for this, so up to you whether you believe him, I guess. The aforementioned Code Jesus, who made several videos about Jason's inability to code, also released this short claiming that his videos on various platforms were mass reported on the basis of harassment.
Pirate Software fans have reached a new low. They've started brigading my channel and mass reporting videos on multiple platforms. Since neither Jason nor his fans have actual arguments against my videos, they resort to smears, ad hominems, and shady tactics in order to get the videos removed. This video in particular, debunking Jason's ray tracing solution for his 2D game, was flagged as selling illicit goods.
Quinn69
Whoa, what?
His 2D game was flagged as selling illicit goods.
Illicit? Whoa.
Quentin69 also insinuated this videos had been mass reported by Jason's community when he read these messages out from who I believe to be his channel manager or editor.
I got replies from Gary, and there's 8 replies even. It's not just one reply. I suspect some weird stuff happened with those videos because one of them is age restricted, which is really weird, and another one is ad limited. I think they got mass flag reported. Really weird that it got age restricted. My suspicion is that mass report and YouTube auto restricts it. I tried to submit a manual review on the same day, but it got rejected. No DMCA though, so I don't think it's pirate necessarily. It's probably just community or something. Your takes were always very grounded though, like you never personally attacked him. On the contrary, you would defend him when he was getting personally attacked by Joker, for example. So I don't think he has a case for DMCA on bullying, etc. True. True.
Finally, as Card Posting mentioned, there were several tiny YouTubers who had had their pirate software content struck down. This would be TN, The Scooge, and Ted's Cabin, whose channels and respective evidence is all on screen now. The Scooge and Ted's Cabin just posted some random clips from my understanding, but interestingly, TN had posted evidence that Pirate Software had attempted to cover up his past as Moldavius Figtree. There is still an archive of TN's video linked on Card Posting's website, so I can show you the evidence. As you can see here, this is what Moldavius Figtree's Wikifur page looks like nowadays, and this is what it used to look like. There is also evidence that it was Jason himself, as the removal request is also preserved.
Wait, is he in Kiwi Farms? Hold on. Well, I'm gonna check this out real quick. He gotta be in Kiwi Farms, right? Kiwi Farms, Kiwi Farms. Pirate Software. Wait, yeah, he is in Kiwi Farms. Let me see if I can find something out of this. This was one in the drafts, but it was a little, I was too ill to post, LOL. It was funny how Maul chose the Meat Canyon video as the video to invalidate and recognize detractors' criticism of him. I mean, he's doing it because of Frog Minutes and Endorser. Explaining of Meat Canyon being too big to beef with. But it's so funny how he chooses to acknowledge the grotesque body horror karmic punishment video rather than just saying my bad, my misrepresented Raw Scott, or I misspoke about my robot creators, or Yamato was right, etc. Okay, I got something out of this. All right. So Kiwi Farms, this video, well, everybody else's video. Shit. Pirate Software is still going at it, I see.
And within, the admins asked him for evidence that he is Moldavius Figtree, which he provided. Oh yeah, and I don't have exact examples for the aforementioned reported videos I've just gone over, but I have seen screenshots of DMs in which Jason was calling for his Discord server to report videos that he disagreed with. Additionally, this all gets funnier when you consider the fact that in almost all of these dramas...
Told you, this guy is a low-cal of all time. Yeah, no, Volt, I got something out of it. So... he got a doc in his description. Then there's Kiwi Farms. That's why people are making content out of him. Yeah. So what I can understand from Pirate Software what I can understand from Pirate Software is that his ego is way too fucking high. He doesn't take accountability. He mass flags people that criticizes him, and he just thinks that he's never in the wrong. So, an egomaniac, just like fucking perfection. It's always those types, huh?
Jason continuously claimed that he was unaffected due to the fact that he was an internet OG who could take anything and wasn't even bothered by doxing, for example.
How do you respond to the 12 doxes last month? I just delete them. I don't care. I don't even respond to that shit, to be honest with you. I've known where I live longer than you. I don't care. It's like, okay, woo, you know, like it's not that spooky for me. I grew up on 4chan when I was a kid, dude. I grew up on 4chan and Something Awful forums and...
Lord Crust and Oddblock made a stream about him, and now Slayer's gonna make a roast. Slayer's gonna make a video on him? Oh shit! Wait, is he actually? Wait, I could have swore Slayer was gonna make a second roast video on Low Tier God, but I did not know he was gonna make another roast video. This time with Pirate Software. Shit.
White Team and D and all the shit like that. I grew up on the old internet, the internet that was stronger than you. Like, this is
Plus
irrelevant to me,
Narc
frankly.
and King
It's not
Sly
going to
still
scare me.
him.
It's not going to bother me. It's not spooky, right?
Oh,
It's just
boy.
like, okay, you did the thing. Blah, you know, like, great, you know.
Yeah, that's why you keep talking about it and dig your hole deeper. Just one more live stream, one more video, one more tweet in which Jason arrogantly states that he is correct and anyone who disagrees with him is wrong and an idiot. And I'm sure they'll all be convinced. You're so close, Jason. Just one more post. Anyway, it's about time that we rip into Pirate Software's identity at its core, because he seemingly lied about that as well.
False identity. Hold on. The Dharma situation. The lightning ball fumble. Maldavius victory. Serial cheater. He also cheats in puzzle game. You know anything about that? He also cheats in puzzle game.
Software's cheated.
In this house, we solve puzzles. And we don't look up the answers. Because where the hell's the fun in that, bud?
I'm not referring to cheating on a partner. As far as I'm concerned, Shay is the only person who's been burned by Pirate Software in that regard. Oh, and maybe that secret wife as well. No, I'm referring to when Pirate Software was cheating in a couple puzzle video games, one by the name of Outer Wilds and the other being Animal World. Oh, there's also this clip, which I don't think is from either of those games, so we'll just get that out of the way first.
Wait a minute. I understand. Okay, think, ponder, realize. It's all about thinking about something. It's different words for this. And these statues are the thinker. Okay.
Wow, magnificent. This guy needs an Oscar. So yeah, to me, it seems as if he was reading
Fucking
chat and then put
cornball.
most of the word ponder in, at which point he began pondering how he was going to play it off, proceeding to give his greatest act yet. Yeah, so I cannot say for sure that he cheated. I don't have the full context, nor do I even know what the game is, to be honest with you. I just found this clip on OSF. But Pirate Software is shifty as fuck in this clip, and it does not look great, especially considering how damning the other two examples of cheating are. Welcome to Outer Wilds, a three-dimensional puzzle game set in space with time loops, quantum mechanics, and other shit. Meet Doc P's Curious Collection, who I'll just call Doc P for brevity. Doc P released a video on January 18th, 2025, wherein he outlines his evidence for how Pirate Software not only repeatedly cheated in Outer Wilds whenever it would get stuck, but he also lied about it. The first instance of cheating that Doc P introduces is based around a puzzle that uses a concept called quantum objects. Essentially, quantum objects are objects that move when you're not looking at them. However, the player has a camera that they can use to take photos of these quantum objects and make them stay in place. In this specific...
He just took the time to pet his cat. Fucking legend.
The puzzle, Pirate Software is trying to get into this door frame. However, as you can see, it's also a quantum object. Notice how the platforms it teleports to are raised away behind the set of stairs and a pillar, making it so that you can't keep eye contact with the door frame if you were to approach it. Yeah, well, the obvious solution to this puzzle, bearing in mind that aforementioned quantum camera, would just to take a photo of it, right? Well, as Doc P points out, despite having tutorial puzzles before this that introduced not only the quantum objects, but also the quantum camera, it seems as if Pirate Software is figuring all this out for not only the first time, but extraordinarily slowly.
Observing a quantum object, observing an image from a quantum object, these are the same.
And by slowly, I mean it takes him a really long time, as in 10 minutes of walking around the fucking room doing nothing long time. At this point, Pirate Software does something that you're going to see a lot, that being pull out his phone. Except he also bizarrely says this.
quantum object. We don't even have an image, though. There's no image available. Image of a quantum object. Oh, by the way, I am not reading most of chat, and I cannot hear TTS today. So, if you're trying to talk to me using TTS, it will not work. Won't work. Yeah, you can hear TTS, but I can't, and I can't read chat, so.
Don't know why you're clarifying that, almost as if he's trying to throw in some qualifying statements to make it seem like he's not cheating, or to make his sudden miraculous solving of the puzzle even more amazing. Either way, he took a couple minutes of reading time to himself and unfortunately wasn't quite quick enough on the Googling. As a result, another one of Outer Wilds' mechanics, that being the time loop, came in to cut him short.
Here it comes. Here it comes. There it goes.
He's playing these boring ass
The image
games.
of a quantum object. Preserving a quantum object in the image of a quantum object.
Just for context, he has
Oh, so smart. Fucking quantum shit. Get the fuck out of here, corny ass nigga.
he has been in this room for 10 minutes. He hasn't thought about his like picture mechanic the whole time. It gets better than this. It gets even better.
I'm going back there.
He's going back there.
So he makes a flight back to the puzzle and pretty much instantly solves it, despite not having used the camera once for the past 15 or so minutes, if not longer.
Quantum object in an image of a quantum object. There's nothing in the room that looks like the object. Unless we make one. Wait a minute. I think I just solved it. Chat. I think I understand. I understand how to do this. I think I know actually how to do this.
Yeah, sure you do, buddy. Yeah, sure you do. It's not like you're just looking through cheats to solve a fucking puzzle. I mean, I can imagine him playing Mario Party and fail to do that, and he has to look through cheats. That's crazy. Kristen Ark made a video already. Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on a second, Voltaire Shibuya.
Your voice can change as a man.
Not to that level, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Not to that level. I'm almost
It's an hour and 30 minutes.
30 now, and I can tell you that my voice has been the same since I've been like, my balls dropped.
You know what? Hold on. Before I go any further, Kiwi Farms. Son of a bitch. Pirate Software. So I'm gonna keep this up. See if I can make something out of it. Yes, sir. Samurai Champloo. Someone knows the good shit. Anyways.
Boing Boing is the ex-roommate of Pirate Software during his Blizzard
stream
days.
as well.
They are levying a story how Moldavius lived his life.
Wait. Oh, he's just reacting to videos. Okay, alright. Back to Lord Crust. Outblot made a stream as well. Yeah, but most likely it's just reacting to videos.
Observing a quantum object and observing surely
You like the game device. It's not that hard. It took him like 15 minutes. But it didn't took him 15 minutes to understand. It took him 15 minutes to suck ass and then Google it.
Try it. And try it when we get there. And if that's the case, then I can use that for other things in the future. Come on. I want to test it. I want to test the thing. Bwong. If I look away from it now...
Have you seen Omni-Man versus Shy Guy? No, what?
It's still there. The camera works. We can pause it to stay in place permanently because we're looking at it. Technically. That portal no longer moves. Hey. 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 I love that. That's an awesome mechanic.
Either way, Doc P goes on to his next example, which is the quantum moon puzzle. The quantum moon is much like the quantum door frame in the way that it moves when you're not looking at it. However, in this instance, it changes which planet it's orbiting. That mechanic as a whole is called quantum entanglement, or the rule of entanglement, which is one of the 3 prerequisite mechanics you need to know about in order to solve the quantum moon puzzle. As an additional part of the mechanic, any object that is not receiving light and is subsequently in a dark space is affected by quantum entanglement. And that also affects you, the player, if you are stood within that dark space. For example, the tile that facilitates the quantum moon puzzle is one of those objects that contains a dark space. As you can see here, he walks inside, turns off the lights, blinds himself with the flashlight, walks outside, and he's somewhere else. There's also apparently a cave accessible earlier in the game that teaches you this mechanic. However, Doc P also notes that Pirate Software never went there. However, you can realistically figure this mechanic out just by fucking around in the quantum tower like Pirate Software does. The second prerequisite mechanic is that quantum imaging stuff, which, as we covered, Pirate Software had already looked up. So, of course, Pirate Software took a photo of the quantum moon and then landed on it.
We've been to Adelronk. Oh, wait. No, I don't want to scout. I want to take a picture of it. There we go. Thank you. I think that was the quantum moon. I think I took a picture of it in time.
He also doesn't understand at first that you can take a picture in the ship. So he's doing some stupid shit here, which causes him to look away. And then the moon is gone.
Can you take a picture? I don't think you can take a picture in time. Okay, I've taken a picture of it, technically. There we go, we got it. That's the quantum moon. That's it. Not getting away from me this time, bud. What are you? It'd be really cool if my ship could, like, stop sliding like it's on ice. That'd be awesome.
He also doesn't. But he doesn't understand this. He doesn't understand how the game works actually in terms of speed. So he figures out how to get in here. This is like a big moment if you figure out how to get this.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get something out of that. Quantum this, quantum that. It's just. Yeah, I don't know if I could get something out of that. Every accolade's a lie. Okay, this one I could get out of.
Eve Online.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, yes. I'm a big space villain. You know, like, I'm the leader of Strybog Clade. We're the big spooky triangle people that live in Ponchman, the largest alliance in there. You're going to get a lot of enemies from that. And, you know, inside of the game, I get to be Maldavius, the leader of that. Outside of the game, I'm just myself, you know, and I want to make this game as cool as it can possibly be.
Now we may know Moldavius as a furry nepo baby who's into knotted animal cocks. However, there is one part of the internet that knows the name Moldavius for a very different reason, and that would be the EVE Online community. Pirate Software used to play EVE Online several years ago, around 2021, with the username Moldavius, which he also likes to share stories about.
Not several.
Explaining World of Warcraft mechanics to you was already a task in itself, and I actually play that game. So excuse me, EVE experts, if I get some shit wrong. The point is that a layman understands what Pirate Software has done within the game and the discrepancies in how he describes it. Now, when it comes to EVE Online itself, all you really need to understand is that it's a huge open-ended sandbox MMORPG where pretty much all of the structures and ships are made by players, which, while does sound cool, is in practice basically just a spreadsheet simulated with 3D graphics. Well, you see, Pirate Software released a video by the name of EVE Offline on September 4th, 2024, which ended up getting 1.3 million views. Within the video, he outlined why he quit the game. A bit under half a year later, on the 23rd of January, a EVE Online YouTuber by the name of Loru Gaming released a video that outlines how Pirate Software's story was harmful to the EVE Online community because it was not only biased, but filled with misinformation. One thing I'd like to note is that from pretty much frame one of Pirate Software's EVE Offline video, you can tell from his chat that he's opened the story by claiming that the EVE Online developers had a personal vendetta against him. Within the video, Pirate Software told the story of when a new pocket dimension region of space formed of 27 star systems was introduced to the game. And this region was called Parchment. Before Parchment was introduced and encompassed those aforementioned 27 star systems, these systems were all essentially neutral space that was up for grabs. PirateSoftware claims that he and his alliance, Strybog Clade, partook in the battle for these 27 systems before they became Parchment in October of 2020, and they continued holding about a third of the Parchment region for a few months into 2021. There was one major difference between star systems that were encompassed in the Parchment region and star systems that were within other regions in the game, and that would be the fact that you could not build structures within the Parchment region. Apparently, this is a big fucking deal, because in EVE, structures such as stations are crucial for corporations to make the most of the system. Think implementing things like tax rates or deciding who's allowed to dock, etc, etc. Think of corporations as player-run guilds, and then alliances are above that as groups of guilds. And then you have factions, which I'll just describe as developer-designed cultures, which act as an overarching cause for alliances to work together and further. Subsequently, players including PirateSoftware's alliance, Strybog Clade, began filling the systems with structures before they were deemed parchment and would not allow for any new structures to be made. If any of the player-made space stations, for example, in parchment were blown up, they could not be replaced, and as such, that system would essentially provide as much function as NPC-controlled space. Here is how PirateSoftware described that situation.
So when we got 27 stars, those stars formed into a place in space, a pocket dimension called Pochvin that looked like this. And we owned a full third of this, because as we had been taking these stars, we were dropping structures in them. And when it moved into Pochvin, those structures stayed, and now they couldn't be replaced. If a structure gets destroyed in Pochvin, it never comes back. You can never anchor a new one, it's gone. So these were unique, and we were the powerhouse that owned that space.
Now, funnily enough, this is seemingly where the first exaggeration is, because I found a Reddit thread which includes posts from people who claim to have not only been around in EVE at the time, but also bring receipts. This Reddit
Are you fucking...
by the name of Tosaevsky states that aside from within 2 systems, all of the structures that PirateSoftware owned within the region were purchased from other players after the region had become Parchment. Regardless, PirateSoftware and his alliance were notably fighting on the side of the Triglavian Collective, which is one of those aforementioned factions within the game that players could join up with and represent. Now, if I'm not mistaken, up until the introduction of the Parchment region, the Triglavians did not have a home system and were more like a nomadic warband, which is a part of what motivated them to try and conquer the 27 systems of Parchment. The Triglavians were actually successful in conquering the Parchment region, and as such, it was split between 3 major alliances. Strybog Clade, PirateSoftware's alliance being one of them. Yeah, the only issue is the new content in Parchment was broken, or more specifically, the dread sites were broken. Think of dread sites as EVE Online's equivalent to a dungeon or raid like Diamond in WoW. It's high-level group content that requires multiple players to work together to take down NPCs and bosses. The issue they had is that they would give players negative rewards, like you would finish the boss and then it would subtract money from your account. The really big fucking problem though was the negative reputation, because in Parchment you needed reputation to access the entry gates, which meant that doing the content within Parchment locked you in or out of the Parchment system. Not entirely though, because from my understanding there were 2 other methods of traveling in and out of a system like Parchment, that being wormholes, which are randomly appearing gates that take you to God knows where, and filaments, which I guess are pocket wormholes. They take you to fuck knows where. Thank you to Laura Gaming, because I would be fucking lost without his coverage explaining all this shit. I also think it's worth noting that he has extra expertise when it comes to this topic, because as far as I'm concerned, at least at the time of when he released his video, he was a part of the alliance that was in charge of Parchment. Now, I'm gonna let PirateSoftware pick up the explanation from here, because according to Loru, everything I've explained is correct up until this point. However, this is the part of the story where PirateSoftware begins to come off as bitter or entitled.
The problem was this: it didn't work. It was broken. When we got to that section of space, they had one piece of content. This was called a dread site raid. The dread sites, for the first like 2 or 3 months, did not function. Imagine going into a raid with 15 people and you kill the boss, and then afterwards the boss gives you negative reputation and negative money. That's what happened, and every week we would talk to the devs, and every week they would try to get us to test it on live servers again with our live characters for 2.5 to 3 months. We lost 70% of our online players. About half of these people never came back. It was a goddamn mess.
Now, I don't know if this number is accurate, but I can tell you that I believe this number. I believe this number because This is frickin' ridiculous. It is.
Now, there are a few additional criticisms that Laurie raises, and I am in full agreement with them. For starters, how is a development team actually working with their players a bad thing? I mean, sure, it can be frustrating if the content is broken, but just go to a different star system that doesn't have new and untested content in it if you don't want to deal with bugs. EVE Online, from my understanding, for better or for worse, has always been developed this way on the live servers because the players are not only the ones who dictate the political and structural layout of the sandbox, but also the story of the game. PirateSoftware is making it sound like the developers are forcing his alliance to stay there and test the broken dread sites, when in reality his alliance was just stubborn enough that they would rather lose 70% of their active player base than just go elsewhere in the fucking galaxy and do.
You know about that. Let's see that. False identity. Okay, we're gonna go to false identity here because this whole thing is just something that I can't even fathom to give a fuck about.
That as well.
Shit.
It was a shiny. I thought he would live. I thought he would live.
There are so many fucking lies that PirateSoftware has peddled that I had to make this segment covering all the miscellaneous claims that didn't fit anywhere else. So why not start the segment off strong by talking about PirateSoftware's second puberty? No, you did not mishear me.
Wait,
Here's
what?
a clip of PirateSoftware explaining it.
And second puberty, that happened too. My voice actually used to be super high pitched. It dropped when I hit about 33. I went to the doctor because I was concerned about it. They did a bunch of tests.
Wait, how old is he? Wait. How old is he? $30? This nigga's damn near 40. Not that surprising. I mean, Low Tier God is 40 years old. He's a locale as well, so. LTG's age. Yeah, it seems like motherfuckers in their 30s and 40s are like locales now. I mean, there's Perfection, then there's Low Tier God, Review Tech USA, Wings of Redemption, Boogie 2988, and now Pirate Software.
It was horrifying, by the way.
So personally, I was aware of the fact that PirateSoftware was lying about his voice. However, I had absolutely no idea that his explanation for it was a second puberty at 33. So you can thank the Cadros for pointing that out to me.
Oh, Dark
For
Side
reference,
Phil, too. I
here's an
forgot about
old
him.
interview with PirateSoftware so you can hear what he actually sounds
Isn't he like
I'm here
45?
with Thor, founder of Pirate Software. How's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic Con, and there's
You know, I'm not even gonna say shit. Cyrax 2.
so many people, and they love the games, so it's been awesome.
So speaking of games, what do you have for us today?
So we have Champions of Breakfast, which is a twin-stick shooter that we made in 24 days from concept to release on Steam. Blew up. It was really, really awesome. And that game is pretty difficult, so if you're into really hard arcade games, that's the kind of thing for you. And the other one is Heartbound, which is a more story-driven RPG. And we've been working on that for about 6 months. We put it up on Steam Greenlight. It got rank 1, so it was massive success. And then we put it up on Kickstarter, and it got funded in 24 hours, and then ended up with 400% funding. So people really, really like the game. And we have an hour-long demo here and on our website, so people can download it anytime.
And what is your website?
It's gopiratesoftware.com, and you can get it there or on Steam. So if you just look up Heartbound on Steam, you can pick it up.
Great, thank you so much. For Video Game News Source, I'm HB Duran. Keep on playing.
PirateSoftware's explanation for the second puberty frequently shifts about the place. I mean, for example, you have one clip where he's talking about how he had to be hooked up to a tube that went into his esophagus for 24 hours to measure how much stomach acid was coming out.
What?
And second puberty, that happened too. They had to do something called a manumetry test at one point where they put this thing down your nose into your esophagus and then they make you swallow. And then they had to do another one for another thing where they put it down there and it had to stay there for 24 hours. And I had to wear a little pack on my side to measure the amount of stomach acid that was coming up into my throat because I had to get a hiatal hernia fix fixed, and I also had to get a valve put into the top of my stomach because I was born without one, and it was horrible. It was a horrible year for my esophagus. It was not good. It was not good. I had a robot on my hip, and it went up into my nose and down into it, and I had to sleep with that shit. I had to sleep with it. It was horrible.
However, this is the only time I could find, at least, of him talking about this traumatic as fuck detail to do with stomach acid, with most other mentions of shit going down his throat being for the purposes of checking if he had esophageal cancer.
This was me 5 years ago. There I am. Look at me. Young Thor. 5 years ago, Chad. 5 years ago. Young Thor. But I want you to hear this. When I hit 33, my voice dropped heavily. I actually went to a doctor to find out what was going on because I was worried I had vocal cord nodules, which can turn into cancer. That's like a whole thing, right? I was really, really concerned about it because my voice dropped very heavily, and you're about to hear it in a second here. They sent me to an ENT, which put a scope in my nose, and they used a camera to look at my vocal cords, and they're like, you're fine. And I was like, what? Like, why did my voice do this? And like, sometimes you have second puberty in your mid-30s. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, it could happen again when you're 60 as well. Listen to this. This is what I used to sound like.
My hot dogs are freshly picked. I'm gonna have to peel it.
That's real.
I'm gonna have to peel my hot dog.
Yeah.
I have to peel it.
I was all the way up in my own nose.
Every good hot dog needs to be peeled.
Enjoy that shit.
Every good hot dog needs to be peeled.
Every good hot dog needs to be peeled. What the fuck am I hearing?
Put it a little bit high pitched for the meme, but
you see, now that I've peeled the hot dog,
this is real.
It's ready to eat. That's right. It's ready to eat.
Peel the hot dog, ready to be peeled. But peel the hot dog, and now the hot dog is ready to be eaten. And then the hot dog is peeling. Did I forgot to mention the hot dog is peeling? Hot dog peeling hot dog. If I was using face cam right now, you would see like the fucking hand movement I'm doing. Glick peeler, okay. And then we eat the hot dog.
That is the worst.
That's the worst thing I ever tasted.
That's the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
There you go. Yeah, that was my voice 5 years ago. My voice literally dropped.
A scope isn't the only tool that he said was used to check for cancer. He also claims they took a sample of his internal neck meat. His words, not mine.
So I went to the doctor because I was like, dude, I am really concerned about this. This scares the shit out of me. My voice is dropping. Like, what's happening? I'm in my mid-30s. Like, this is not supposed to be like this, right? And they're like, okay, we're going to send you to a specialist. They sent me to an ENT, an ear, nose, and throat doctor. And they put a camera in my nose, into my throat, and all this kind of shit. And they were like, hey, everything's fine. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, nothing's wrong with you. They took samples of my neck meat on the inside to like check for cancer and shit. They're like, no, you're fine. So they sent me back to the doctor. My doctor's like, hey, so sometimes in your early 30s, you can effectively go through second puberty, and it may happen to you again in your 60s.
It's a fucking real thing, Void, goddammit. Eternal neck meat, it's not that damn deep.
Which is very horrifying, because it basically means that in my 60s, I may just go all the way down here, and then this will be my normal voice at all times, just like this. Yeah, I'm scared of that happening, to be honest with you. Like, this will be an unattainable high-pitch range, and it'll just be like down there as the baseline.
The odd thing is, much like the stomach acid detail, this cancer part of the explanation gets dropped entirely, with most recent explanations just focusing around the fear of having vocal nodules. Vocal nodules can develop into cancer, I guess, but there's also several clips of PirateSoftware claiming that the 6 or so years of talking on stream allowed him to tune his voice to be deeper.
My voice just dropped. That's all it came down to. And I think that's in large part because I was streaming 10 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week for 3 years. And also, you can get effectively second puberty as a guy in your early to mid-30s. Both of those things happen at once. That being said, being able to talk on stream all the time means that I can control my voice quite well now. And then I can just pour butter on it anytime I want to, just like this. What do you think now, chat? Should I just talk like this from now on?
It's not gonna get you any females. That's not gonna get you any bitches. I'm telling you, bro. You could deepen your voice all you want. You're not gonna get any bitches. I mean, you're damn near 40. You're damn near 40 with no family. Like you're a petition. You are a fucking locale.
Yeah. I mean, that's really all it is. You get a lot of voice control by being able to talk on stream all the time because your voice is an instrument. And since I can hear myself, it's an instrument. I can use that.
Right? Ironic, it might. Really? Really? Someone would date this? I mean, if they want to go with an egotistical maniac, then he's all yours.
Yeah.
Although what's notable is that he occasionally adds extra details on how his voice was tuned, such as the bizarre idea that he strengthened his neck muscles and that's what's deepened his voice.
Would you guys like to hear what it sounds like to stream for 6 years straight? This is going to upset.
We've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse. There was a guy at my workplace who was like shopping at Winn-Dixie. Shorter than the girl. The girl's like at least like 5'7", 5'7", 5'6". The guy is 5'4", and I was like, so you're telling me that this motherfucker can get it? Nah, get me out of the state. We got molecules getting girls now. That's just fucking insane.
Everybody. I did have a shittier mic then. Understand something. After 3 years of streaming, when I was like 33 years old, I went to the doctor because my voice started dropping dramatically. And it actually was like, it was really hard. It was really hard for anyone to hear me. Everything was weird. And I was super concerned about it. So I went to the doctor. They put a scope in my nose. They sent me to an ENT, put a scope in my nose, checked my vocal cords to see if I had any nodules, because I was streaming all the time, right? They checked for those nodules to see if I basically had vocal cord cancer or a growth or anything like that, right? And I was fine. And my doctor told me that basically in your mid-30s, you can have second puberty and your voice can drop. And talking all the time also strengthens the muscles in your neck, which changes your voice over time as well. So with that in mind,
started flipping it back and forth, and it got jammed, and I pushed on it really hard, and I was holding it in my left hand, and it wasn't a metal light switch. It was a spring-loaded razor blade, and it cut the end of my middle finger off on my left hand.
That was my voice, and yes, that is true. The end of my middle finger is actually the palm of my hand.
As I stated previously, he is still pushing the second puberty explanation to this day. So here is the most recent, or I guess refined version that I could find from the 13th of June 2020.
I don't know how the fuck you can get a second puberty. That's... What?
Why do people think you use a voice changer? Because people online believed that that was the case, because my voice used to be super high-pitched, like when I was younger. When I turned around 33, my voice dropped pretty hard, and I got afraid of it. Like, I was really concerned because it was deeper than this. It was like kind of like this all the time. It was like really raspy, kind of like that sort of a thing, right? And I went to the doctor because I was like freaked out about it. And they put a scope in my nose. They looked at my vocal cords because they were looking for vocal cord nodules because like I talk on stream all day. And they were like, nope, nothing's wrong. And I was like, well, what causes this? And she was like, well, sometimes guys can go through a second puberty. And I thought that was hilarious. So I brought that up online in a short, and people were like, he's a liar, he uses a voice changer, Alex Jones. And then they freaked out, and like I just thought it was a funny thing for her to say, and the internet lost their minds. But no, my voice dropped. That's it. You know, like, that's about it. You know, like, have you done narrator stuff? A little bit. I did some of that for a game that we're publishing through Off-Brand Games right now. That's about it. But no, people have met me in person, and then like, there is a time when my voice does.
Well, you are no longer working over there. Because you're a piece of shit.
Get higher pitch, and it's if I blow my voice out really bad. Like if I'm yelling a whole bunch, then my voice will be like kind of higher and raspy, and that's about it.
Yeah, you just yapping.
Now, I'm no doctor, but I'm like 99% certain that a second puberty is not a thing. And when the term is used, it's used to refer to the effects of aging. Do any of these symptoms of aging look anything like a second voice drop? Now, I'm fairly certain that he is virtually modifying his voice as well as cranking the bass up on his mic, as I will demonstrate shortly. But first, I want to play this clip from...
Oh, really? Really?
His Stream Awards appearance, because I believe it also demonstrates that he forces his voice lower when he's talking.
God, yeah, you know, this actually is really heavy. Holy shit. So, it's honestly amazing to me that we even have a category now. Like, the software and game development category is incredible.
Yeah, his voice doesn't sound like that. It's his fucking mic. Oh, hell no, bro. It was his fucking mic. No, because he doesn't really talk like this. He doesn't actually talk like this. Nigga, you modified your fucking mic to sound deeper. You're... Lies around lies around lies. Like, you can't make this shit up, man. You literally can't. Motherfucker modified his mic to sound deeper. He doesn't... Bro. My nigga, you're just old. Like...
You guys should definitely check it out. There's many more creators than just me.
You sound... Bro. This motherfucker modified his mic just to sound deep. Yeah, you're a potential liar, my nigga.
It's definitely not just me. So it's incredible to me that you guys have voted for me for this, because a year ago, many people didn't even know I existed. And this has been one of the most amazing years I have ever had in my life. So thank you all very, very much. Seriously.
And for those of you out there that want to make games, you have a home for that now on Twitch. You have this category for you to do that. And it doesn't mean you have to make an amazing game. You just have to make your game. Make it bad. It's okay. And then make a better one. And just keep doing it. So,
Well, maybe finish
I can't
the other
wait to
one
play
first.
What you guys make. And thank you all very much.
You can hear the hints of his real voice, and it does sound like his pitch is slowly increasing the longer that he's on stage, but yeah, it's obviously significantly deeper than it's supposed to sound if he was speaking with like a relaxed throat or something. As I mentioned though, he is also virtually modifying his voice on stream, and you can see that from when it breaks in clips such as this one.
Oh.
Glorious luck. Do you hear that? Do you hear that sound? Shit.
It was a shiny. I thought he would live.
It was a shiny, you lying piece of sh.
I thought he would live.
Man, this guy sucks at covering his tracks. Is there anything he's good at? Why would you even edit this into a short in the first place? Like, it just so clearly displays how modified his voice is.
It was a shiny. I thought he would live. I thought he would live.
Oh, also, on another note, did you know that Pirate Software worked on the show Mr. Robot? Well, I lied, he didn't, but he seems to think that they used his work without crediting him.
As an OffSec specialist, how accurate is Mr. Robot? I don't like Mr. Robot. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't like Mr. Robot. I don't like Mr. Robot because they took some information that they should not have taken from a write-up that I did on some puzzles that I solved at DEF CON, and then they put them into an episode of the show, and I found out about it. And the only source for that knowledge was my write-up. Don't do that. You're bad, Mr. Robot. You'll always be bad. Always. Yeah. Do you want to know what the solution for that was? Do you want to know what one of the solutions for that was? It was the Puzzle Master's personal cell phone number, to which he got thousands of calls. Maybe don't put things in your episode if you don't know what it is. Maybe don't do that, idiots.
Bro, imagine him in Marvel Rivals. Imagine this nigga playing Marvel Rivals. Oh, I would hate to have this guy on my team. He's just gonna purposely throw my fucking game. For no apparent reason. I'm telling you, bro. Like, imagine him playing Marvel fucking Rivals. Or Overwatch. My man's just gonna purposely throw the fucking game. Just because people are like telling him to switch or like you're doing bad or anything of the sort, he's just gonna be like throwing the game. Man, I would hate to have this guy on my team, bro. On the enemy team, they can have it, but on my team, absolutely not. I don't want no 10 game losing streak on my fucking team, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But like, nah, bro. I would hate to have this guy on my team.
Interesting. Well, looking further into it, there is a second short in which he elaborates on this claim.
All right, so the reason I don't like Mr. Robot. This right here is my write-up for the DEF CON 22 Badge Challenge. Went viral as hell inside of the hacking community. And it was because I listed out everything that we did as a team and showed the world the brilliance of Lost, who is the creator of these challenges. And the first thing you can see here is a number-letter cipher. So 1 would be A, 2 would be B, so on and so forth. And you can see at the end of this, these last pieces of 1057, 1057, Lost's name is 1057. He goes by Lost, and 1057 is his handle. That is his signature at the end of this. And now let's go to Mr. Robot's Twitter. Understand that this was the only place in the world that this was listed. Mr. Robot reposted this right here. That's that same string, but what did they leave off the end? His signature. This is the same as taking an artist and removing their signature from their piece of art. They made it public to millions of Mr. Robot fans. And those people went and found all of the breadcrumbs that led after this, which led to Lost's personal phone number. He got tens of thousands of calls from fans of Mr. Robot thinking Mr. Robot was running an ARG. And I stopped watching the show as a result. And they never took it down. Absolute dog shit.
Okay, so this is just blatant misinformation. I have no idea if all of it is an intentional lie or if some of it's just because Jason is a fucking moron. It is true that Season 2, Episode 11, Mr. Robot cites a DEF CON cipher, and the Mr. Robot account did indeed tweet a string of letters used for the puzzle, without the creator's signature on it. Have a guess as to why they did that though, because it wasn't plagiarism. The guy who designed the DEF CON puzzle was a consultant for the Mr. Robot show because they wanted authenticity when it came to depicting the hacking. They had left the Puzzle Master's signature out, as well as some other details from my understanding, because it allowed people to find the Puzzle Master's phone number. Contrary to what he claims, Pirate Software's Quirky Potato Tumblr site was not the only place you could find a fucking DEF CON puzzle. It's a DEF CON puzzle. DEF CON is the largest hacking event globally. Pirate Software explicitly claimed in his shorts that the show doxed the Puzzle Master and he subsequently received a bunch of phone calls. But this is an obvious lie because the Puzzle Master's phone number was not included in the Mr. Robot version of the puzzle. Do you know where the phone number was included though? Pirate Software's Quirky Potato Tumblr page that he is now drawing attention to with his YouTube shorts and TikToks. Truly a genius we're working with here.
Maybe don't put things in your episode if you don't know what it is. Maybe don't do that. Idiots.
Speaking of DEFCON, that's another part of Pirate Software's identity that's seemingly fragile. He always talks about how he won all these awards and solved puzzles at DEFCON, but he always seems to forget to mention the fact that he's in a team of like 9 other people. How much of the actual solving and work did Pirate Software contribute to solving these DEFCON puzzles? Because considering it's displayed throughout this video, I cannot imagine a lot of it. Another thing I wanted to mention was the Dr. K interview that I've used a couple clips from. It's honestly fucking fascinating.
So when I'm in the emergency room, someone is high on crystal meth and calling me an ass fucker or whatever. Sorry, maybe that was too much.
I was predisposed to dislike Dr. K due to some dramas that I have no interest in going into right now, but I do have to say that his conversation with Pirate Software was not only intriguing, but impressive from Dr. K's behalf. Especially if Dr. K's claim about having next to no context going into the conversation is true, because despite being fed bullshit by Jason the entire time, Dr. K manages to read Pirate Software like a book and see through his various defenses and deflections.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. Sure. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this. Yeah. That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. I don't see it that way, but all right.
If you have the time, I recommend watching it, especially after having watched this very video in which I gave all the context for the fractured puzzle that Pirate Software is laying out and Dr. K is having to piece together. Anyway, even if he's lying about his claimed hacking achievements, video game achievements, ex-marriage, ferret persona, voice, at least he's undeniably a successful streamer, right? Unless he also lied about an element of that. Yeah.
Oh, no, come on.
Well, it turns out he may have faked an element of that as well, as Pirate Software accidentally exposed himself to have been working with that aforementioned mod Kronos to artificially sustain a hype train. Yeah, I'll just play the clip in which he accidentally exposes himself and then explain.
Oh yeah, seen that in a Tozi's video. Like, why do this? Like, you don't want to be authentic? Bro, what's up with these motherfucking big streamers and shit like that who doesn't want to be authentic within themselves, bro? It's honestly crazy.
My head between them and go full burr mode and make...
What? What? What is this? Where is it?
Yeah, this dumb fuck pulled the DMs up on his own stream. Essentially, a Twitch hype train is this goofy-ass system on Twitch which is supposed to encourage viewers to give money to the creator. A timer ticks down and any money donated in the form of bits, subscriptions, gifted subscriptions, etc. adds seconds back to the timer. Pirate Software previously held the record for longest hype train. However, as you can see within these Discord DMs, it kinda seems as if he was working with his mod Kronos to add a metric shitload of time to it. Pirate Software went on to respond to this claim by stating that his mod Kronos was simply asking how to donate to the stream, and Pirate Software was just instructing him on the best way to do so, which, yeah.
So it turns out Pirate Software got his moderator to keep the hype train going by having them give subs and gift bids when he broke the hype train record. Cool. QQ, that the 82% applies to your perspective instead of Kronos in this conversation then? Confused by the wording, if not. This is something I talked about with the community all the time. If you purchase 2,500 bits, around 82% of your purchase ends up making it to the streamer, and such pushes the hype train more. It's not secret info, it's basic math. He wanted to push the train, so I let him know, as I always let everyone know, the best way to do so. At the end of the day, it's his money. Nobody was told to do anything, and he's his own man, and he can do what he wants. Right. Let's just keep up with that. Why don't we?
Sure, Jason. Anyway, I mentioned the last part that I would expand upon Pirate Software's aversion to being called a Nepo baby, so let me do that. On July 9th, 2024, Mashable published an article written by a guy called Steven Asak titled How Pirate Software Gained Nearly 2 million subscribers in 6 months. The article lays out his history and, in my humble opinion, glazes the absolute living fuck out of Pirate Software. Like, he is quite possibly the last person I would describe as having...
Hey, zip it up when you're done, bro. Zip it up when you're done. Because you are slobbering all over that shit right now. Zip it up. I need a break.
a down-to-earth persona. This, however, was apparently not enough for Jason, because according to Steven, the author, Pirate Software reached out to Mashables and requested that they had the words "Nepo Baby" removed from the article. Steven hopped on ChudLogic's stream to share this fact, which got posted as a clip on the Livestream Fails subreddit.
He claimed the article was full of factual inaccuracies. He actually contacted the event that I had interviewed him at and had the event reach out to me in an attempt to try to get the fact that I called him a Nepo baby taken out of the article. That has never happened before or since.
Pirate Software was subsequently prompted to make this statement in regards to it.
Yeah, really not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. It's one of those things that I've been trying to fight my entire career. It's one of the things that I've had to argue with people in chat about. It's one of the things that we ban people for here. Anytime people say shit like that, because it's deeply disrespectful and it completely overwrites any of the things that I've done throughout my career as something that is somebody else's success, which they have not been in any possible respect. And it's just rude as fuck.
Okay, but what have you actually done throughout your career, Jason? Start and not finish an indie game? Be a QA guy at Blizzard? So let me get this straight. He has one of the smallest roles to work at in Blizzard, and he brags at the fact that he worked at Blizzard. Oh, look at me, I worked at Blizzard, nigga. You didn't do anything significant in Blizzard. And apparently, you started a game and you didn't even finish it. And you scam a bunch of people. I mean, there's like so many silver linings in this shit that you could literally write a whole book about it. It's a whole 3-hour video about it. Like, come on, bro.
Which they have not been in any possible respect. And it's
look,
just
Nitties.
So, what do you say? In the thing, he said it was he called me a Nepo baby. In his article. No, that's dog shit behavior. Really gross.
The only gross dog shit behavior I see is exuding from you, Jason. Steven was pretty clear in the article that being a Nepo baby was just a helping hand in Pirate Software's career and did not overwrite all of the other achievements that he's laying out in the article. It was one sentence in a several paragraph long article. The fact that Pirate Software got so fucking butthurt by it and is even stating his fear of it overriding all of his achievements only serves to make me believe that there may be more truth to that thought than I initially anticipated. Additionally, let me bring back up the Joker situation. Like, if Jason is going to freak out this much about an article to the extent that he's going to reach out and attempt to have it altered, then how out of the realm of possibility is it that he reported Joker's video for calling him a coffee delivery boy? Also, if his career is built on the achievements of his father, why is he such a bad son to him then?
But since you did, last month was my birthday and you missed it. You didn't call me, neither did your brother. You guys both ignored me for my birthday.
That isn't true. I sent you a text.
True. No, you didn't.
Whoa, what?
Then?
But since you did.
If his career is built on the achievements of his father, why is he such a bad son to him then?
But since you did, last month was my birthday and you missed it. You didn't call me, neither did your brother. You guys both ignored me for my birthday.
That isn't true. I sent you a text.
True. No, you did not.
Bullshit.
That was last year.
Bullshit.
I got nothing. You sent me one last year.
Did I send you one last year? My shitty son. Oh man. Yeah. It was last. Wow.
I want everybody to know that Jason, Thor, did not say anything to his father for his birthday a month ago.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't text you anything after that last happy birthday, so it's still the same one.
Terms is spoiled brat. Yep.
This is the caliber of clip that people are pulling up on Jason at this point. It's all because he's too fucking ego-driven to apologize or acknowledge fault for anything that he's done. This mass internet fallout was inevitable because Jason can't help but be insufferable. However, it is funny to me that it was accelerated into fruition by roaching out of a dungeon in World of Warcraft and an obsession with being the smartest guy in the room when it came to stop killing games.
Put up a video saying you were wrong with every situation and the internet move on. I am not doing that. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, simply bend the knee and lie about how you feel and everyone will stop bullying you. That's a great idea, dude. Yeah, no. Eat shit.
Pirate Software lies as easy as he breathes about anything and everything from his past employment to his voice. Here lies a defense mechanism, to sound more interesting, to further his own agenda, or to discredit someone or something in the case of Stop Killing Games. His game, Heartbound, is a spaghetti code unfinished mess that he's used to rip his fans, or more accurately, customers, off of thousands. He's, from what I can tell, greedy to the extent that he's implemented a Steam achievement-based DRM in order to, ironically, prevent piracy. However, in practice, only serves to make his incomplete single-player indie game unplayable off of Steam, or completely unplayable if Steam was to make a mere couple changes to their API. Moldavius Figtree, the furry Nepo baby, is ego-driven to the extent that he can't even take accountability for a simple fuck-up in a video game, and is more than happy to tell his deranged fantasies of his supposed mage skills, or hacking into the EVE Online API to read through his guildmates' messages. Pirate Software has shown a liking to deleting evidence and abusing copyright or his imaginary connections to Blizzard to shamelessly threaten or even DMCA other creators who criticize or make fun of them. This is despite the fact that he challenges people to come at him or his properties because he's a self-reported seasoned internet veteran who can take anything that's thrown his way. Jason Thor, in quotation marks, Hall is a pathetic crybaby who cannot help but victimize himself despite his completely unwarranted arrogant aggression towards those he considers less skilled or intelligent than himself. For all these reasons and more that I'm sure I'm missing, the hate or criticism that Pirate Software is getting from pretty much every part of the internet right now is not only deserved, but completely self-inflicted, and it's not an organized hate raid, as Pirate Software would classify it. If it isn't obvious by the length of this video, I fucking hate this guy more than a lot of the people that I've covered, and it's just based on the fact that he didn't need to be an insufferable wretch at every turn. He chose to be. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is a
Scam his fan over literal thousands, man. Like specifically 19,000. 19,000. Like, we just had another fucking scammer, bro. You don't need to be a fucking dick. Like, I don't really get this shit at all, man. I don't really get it. I don't really get this shit. This nigga is spoiled. He lies about shit. His ego is way off the fucking roof because he works at fucking Blizzard. It's just... Oh my god. Yeah, nah, I'm making a commentary about this Joker right here. I'm making a commentary about this Joker. Oh my god. Me watching the 5,000 Pirate Software hate video with the same joy that I watched my first one. Damn. Damn. I once heard a story of an escape room employee that were there often, that there were often dudes that did the same room multiple times on first dates with different women just to impress them with how easily they were able to solve the room. Pirate Software is definitely one of those guys. Okay, well, I don't know about that shit. The clip of his father saying he forgot his birthday hurts more than anything. It's crazy. You are gonna talk over me if is that what we do now? Coming out of a mouth of a person that tries to talk over someone that's rich. I think it speaks a great deal towards Jason's personality when he pulls the Oculate card. Oculate, he says, one of you pull the Oculate, the Ocular. I don't know. Rather than one of us pull the Ocular, he so very clearly see everyone around him is beneath him. Thank you for the video. This has taken a long ass time for you to research and put together. Pirate Software is receiving everything he deserves and nothing he wants. Oh, wait a minute. You still miss like 20 lies that has been publicly exposed and probably new ones every time the sun rises. Really? And also throw many shots at fairies for no fucking reason. Really? The newest being the interview with his former handler and roommate. She racked him over the coal. Oh, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that information, give me that information, give me that information, give me that, give me that information. A 9-hour video will soon strike the PirateSoftware channel. The Mr. Robot one was one of the worst. He blatantly slanders the show and confidently claims they plagiarized a guy who quite literally worked with the show on set. He was claimed was plagiarized. I recently exposed his unlicensed ferret rescue and how it is breaking federal law. There's a ton of stuff on this guy. The ferret hole goes deep. Give me that. Give me that information. Because it's like, nah, bro. There's a lot of things about this guy that I can make out of. We need a new local category called cows you love to hate. I have a feeling Jason was tweet, and he will actually have something legitimate to brag about. Oh, look at me! I work at Blizzard. Like, no one fucking cares. Okay, so like, I got something with the Kiwi Farms. Yeah, I got something with the Kiwi Farms. I got something with the videos and the doc as well. So maybe something I can get out of it, but it's gonna take a long time considering, you know, I need to like find clips and shit like that. But the stop killing game shit, I don't know what the fuck you was thinking with that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what the fuck you was thinking with that shit. But hey, I got something. I got something out of it. Go, go, Power Rangers. Alright, what you said, Void. Omni-Man versus... wow. Yeah, I'm good off that. Alright, so it seems like I got something out of that. Although the clips, it's gonna be a little bit hard to get over because the fact that, yeah, it seems like I'm gonna have to nab some clips from like some YouTubers and shit like that in order to get my point across. And then there's also Kiwi Farms that I might have to pull out of. It's a lot of things on this guy. Although I'm not really knowledgeable about this whole puzzle game shit. Although cheating on a puzzle game is fucking insane. Yeah, so PirateSoftware, fucking, they're almost 30-year-old man cheating and being a liar and all this other stuff. The fuck is this? So damn colorful, Jesus. Okay, we'll go through his shit. Actually, you know what? No. If you're mad at me for being addicted to Ross, I get it. I'm sorry for that. I should not have lashed out, and I have an emotional response due to how important this subject is to me. Wow. Alright.
I have no doubt most of you have noticed over the last 10 or 11 months I've been a lot happier. Glowing, really, radiant. You can tell probably just from my voice alone and this striking smile. So what is the secret to this
fucking Christ?
This newfound happiness of mine, the one trick doctors don't want you to know? I haven't been online as much. I've been going outside far more frequently, spending time in the real world. And as such, I'm sure many of you have noticed over the last 10 or 11 months, internet drama hasn't been a huge focal point of the channel because I haven't seen a whole bunch of it. I haven't kept up with the vast majority of it. And of course, occasionally I've still dipped
I mean, there's the Birdie and the City Bear shit, but hey.
footsies in some of it, like if there's something particularly wacky going on, and I still cover like news and crazy shit going on with aliens and all of that kind of thing, or if there's like a really cringe, prankster that got arrested or something, I'll still talk about that. But it's not like a fixation for me like it used to be over the last few years, where I was covering any and all internet creator space hoopla. And I want to keep it that way. I'm having a lot more fun not doing that. That being said, there is something that has unfolded here that's like the John Wick killing the dog moment that's bringing me back, just very temporarily. And it's Pirate Software. Yesterday I talked about Stop Killing Games. And there's no way to talk about Stop Killing Games without also mentioning Pirate Software because of the profound effect he has had on that initiative in its demise. I say demise, but it's not actually fully cooked, but it has been on life support, and Pirate Software did play a big role in that because of 2 videos he made, as well as a stream, shitting all over it. And that's not even doing it justice. He was full-blown tooting on this. He was shitting on it with some fart on top. And a lot of what he was saying about Stop Killing Games wasn't accurate. It was a misrepresentation of the initiative. And the guy behind it, the guy spearheading it, Ross, finally set the record straight on a lot of the misconceptions that Pirate Software helped to put out there and kind of exacerbate these thought processes that just weren't accurate for what the initiative was actually aiming to do. He finally set the record straight, and I, of course, wanted to talk about it as someone who does actually care about it. Now, as I've said, I've been a little more off the grid. I bought a fucking farm, so I've been, living off the Lord's land recently, and I've missed a lot of the internet happenings. So, Pirate Software's previous anime arcs of drama, like with World of Warcraft, and the one after that, and the one after that, and the one after that, and the one after
So many dramas, jeez, man, give it a break.
After that, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to. I only got little tiddlywinks, little morsels of lore about it in a few clips, so I never really even understood what was going on there. So Pirate Software's response to everything that happened yesterday really caught me by surprise. That was a subversion of my expectations bigger than Game of Thrones Season 8.
Yeah, Hutcher, I did. I think it's really hilarious to me that that entire community is so butt mad at me for putting out a video 10 months ago about their stuff and then not being refuted, and now it's my fault that everything is going wrong for them.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like Stone Cold fucking Steve Austin. And that's the truth, cause Pirate Software said so. Some shit like that. It's crazy how he's responded. The smugness is nails on a chalkboard. It just makes you feel icky listening to it. And he goes on that same talking point multiple times in the clip about how, like, oh, I guess I'm fully to blame. I guess because I made those videos 10 months ago, it's my fault entirely that this whole thing crashed and burned. Yep. Oh boy. Time to play a sad song on the world's smallest violin for the Stop Killing Games movement.
It's fucking insane, dude. Just don't know how to take accountability, man. It's just that easy.
All because Big Bad Pirate Software took it all down by himself. Like, it's crazy. No one's saying that. Like, there is no one out there that is saying it is entirely Pirate Software's fault that Stop Killing Games hasn't been more successful in its endeavors. But there's irrefutable evidence that you had a detrimental effect, a majorly damaging effect on Stop Killing Games because of your misinformation that you spread about it in 2 videos and across all your streams, and not once have you bothered to correct that record. And he has said that it hasn't been refuted in 10 months. That is fish paste. That is turbo horseradish. Go to your own comment section on your videos to see everyone refuting you, as well as the innumerable other gamers and voices out there that have taken down those talking points and debunked a lot of them and proven that you just didn't understand it. And that is the big problem. No one hates Pirate Software because he doesn't agree with Stop Killing Games. The reason so many people are angry at him, myself included here, you can disagree with the movement all you want. If you don't like the initiative, I'm not your fucking dad. You make your own choices there. But the reason so many people, myself included, do not like how Pirate Software is handling all this is he is refusing, outright refusing, to just admit any level of fault, that he was wrong about anything. And that couldn't be more clear from these clips, as well as his tweets that he's made. It's actually his tweets that really sent me off the fucking rails here, off my gourd. Let's start with this little nugget here that he deleted from last night. So he tweeted directly at Ross, the guy behind Stop Killing Games, talking about how he made those videos 10 months ago, and since then, his community has been nothing but hateful. A scourge, a fucking tyrannid threat that he must destroy. Your community is fucking rabid, and it's shit to deal with for anyone on the other side of the argument. Why do you think I haven't talked about this shit in 10 months? Why do you think we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat? Because it's been rage bait and shit-flinging the entire time. And just goes on about like how he is the victim of Ross's toxic, terrible community, which is hilariously hypocritical coming from Pirate Software, when in his videos and his streams, he makes it very clear and is very rude about how much he dislikes not only Ross, but the movement. And it's not like he's being very professional and polite about it, you know, buttoned up. Listen to it.
So this was my first encounter of it.
Oh shit, no, this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible goddamn direction. That's awful. No, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I dropped the mask entirely.
Bro, you don't need to be this. You don't need to be this fuck. You don't have to be this much of an asshole for. Oh my god.
No qualms about that.
Like, did you even read through the movement or some shit? It's basically just saying, oh yeah, just stop killing games that people purchases and let them play the game. And you say it's horse shit, bro. All right, bro. You know what, Pirate Software, you got it.
They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Ross and his community that are actually the assholes here. Brother, come on, you can't possibly be calling the wambulance with a side of French fries here about people being mean to you when you are literally the one that started the shit-flinging and name-calling. And by the way, Ross never even addressed this for 10 months because he didn't want to dilute the initiative into just having it be boiled down to drama between creators, which I think was actually very big of him. The only reason he's talking about it now is because it's at the end of its life, and so many people still don't understand it because of someone like Pirate Software misrepresenting it. So he's finally setting the record straight there. Anyway, he did delete that tweet, but just a little while ago, he made a new tweet, a very long tweet, as well as a series of tweets under it in regards to this whole thing. And in all these words, all this mumbo-jumbo, not once does he say he was wrong about anything. In fact, he just continues to double down, even proudly stating he is doubling down. Wow, how incredibly noble, doubling down on...
Tripling down. Let's just say he's tripling down now. God damn it, this nigga is an asshole.
Blatantly wrong about. We don't need to hit the Jumbotron for the replay on yesterday's video going over so many of the things that he was incorrect about in regards to the initiative. But the point is, that is an issue that I really thought that he would address. Be like, hey, yeah, I did get this part wrong. You're right, guys. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to misrepresent it. I still don't fully agree with it, but I do recognize that I had some errors here in my coverage. That's what I was expecting. That is not what we got. And it prompted me to reach out directly to him, to talk to him, to see, like, why isn't he acknowledging that? Is there a reason? Like, what is going on there? So I did. He made it very clear he was not very happy with my coverage of Stop Killing Games, which is fine. I think that's totally fine. I'm not going to leak DMs or really go in depth on our private conversation, but the point of me reaching out to him was to talk about his refusal to acknowledge that he did, maybe unintentionally, misrepresent Stop Killing Games. And
Charlie,
it led to a just shy of 2 hours, like, circular argument that ultimately got us nowhere. He was more focused on his qualms with Stop Killing Games and really liked to challenge me to prove him wrong about some of his hang-ups with it. And when I would mention, like, the behavior aspect, like, hey, you did misrepresent it, and I'd give him a timestamp, he'd then instead say how I'm wrong for thinking that he misrepresented it. We got nowhere. So I want to just publicly say this again. there are plenty of things you can disagree with when it comes to the Stop Killing Games initiative. I'll put links to it if you want to learn more about it, and you can form your own opinions on it if you want to support it. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's super normal. And I didn't reach out to try and champion that Pirate Software should become, you know, a huge ambassador of Stop Killing Games, you know, out there on the fucking front lines fighting for it. It had nothing to do with that. It was simply about the misunderstanding that he showcased, maybe unintentionally, and the misrepresentation of it that he broadcast. Again, maybe unintentionally. Which has, in turn, over the course of 10 months, misled people on what the fuck Stop Killing Games even is in the first place. Which I found to be a problem because he's never even acknowledged that as something that has happened. And because he refuses to acknowledge that, and anyone that even, like, tiptoes around that subject, he kind of treats as though they're fucking idiots, like me, for thinking that he's misrepresenting something. Now, he did just post a tweet where he said he talked to me and Josh Strife Hayes, and in that tweet, this will prove how useless our conversation was, unfortunately, there's not a single peep about
Wacky server's still
misrepresenting
dead,
what
by the
Stop
way.
Killing Games was about. It's more so about how the public just doesn't
It is what
understand
it
game
is.
development, and it kind of reads to me like we're all just too stupid to understand it from his side of things. Our conversation basically amounted to toilet paper, unfortunately. Again, I was focused
No slap
on
fight since
you have
almost
done this,
2 weeks ago.
maybe unintentionally. You should at least say that you have, or like, you know, are you aware that you did this? And then it became more of like, nope, I didn't. You're wrong. And then he uses
Even
our
perfection can't
conversation at the
revive
start
it.
of this for something that was not
Hey.
even the focus. I was not there to try and convince him to be part of Stop Killing Games. I don't think we made any ground on, like, his perspective versus mine on Stop Killing Games. He has some qualms about how difficult it would be in certain cases. I agree with that, for sure. I still think overall Stop Killing Games is a net positive for the gaming industry where something desperately needs to change with a lot of these awful practices. But for the 10 millionth time in the last 2.5 hours, it was just about him having this awareness that his coverage did mislead people, and that he, maybe not maliciously or anything, misunderstood or misrepresented Stop Killing Games in numerous instances. And the way that he talked about Ross was unacceptable. That at least made it into the tweet there about the way he talked about Ross being like a fucking used car salesman type deal.
By the way, for the sake of your mental, don't make any more vids on perfection. I don't care what the DBZ fandom says, don't do it. Yeah, I wasn't really planning on making another one on him anyways. I mean, it would have been easy money if I did made another one on him, but yeah, you're right. I'm not going to make another one on perfection. I mean, recently he hasn't done anything nefarious other than just, you know, having his OC just, you know, fuck like anime characters or some shit like that, or someone else's character. Yeah, he hasn't done anything nefarious other than that, but yeah, I don't really see no reason as to why I should make another one in perfection. Chozo though, however, if he decides to flag my fucking video made about him, yep. He's just saying slurs at this point. Yeah, and slurs, whatever, man. People saying words, whatever. As long as he doesn't do anything nefarious as, like, you know, stalking minors or any of that weird shit that I covered. Just not, yeah, it's just basically nothing. As long as he doesn't do anything nefarious or heinous, that's whatever. But I see no reason to make another one on perfection.
And like calling everything about it ass. He at least recognized that that was too harsh. So he gave a quick I'm sorry for that, which is good. I do appreciate that, and I'm sure Ross will appreciate that as well, I imagine. But I still wanted to make this video after the conversation because I just really do not understand. I truly cannot wrap my head around why he fights tooth and nail coming for throats for anyone that tries to mention that there was misrepresentation in his coverage of the Stop Killing Games initiative. He is so hell-bent on proving he's right and everyone else is wrong that's saying these things. I just don't get it. He's just treating it like he's got the mega mind, once-in-a-generation galaxy brain that no one can possibly understand. All us plebeians are beneath him, and we're lucky that he even graces us with streams, and we're stupid for thinking that he did anything wrong here in regards to his coverage of Stop Killing Games and what it's...
Yeah, it is what it is. Charlie's driving, Virgo's chilling, Konu. Konosuke slaying a lolicon. Paz is pretty much making money off of autism and Chloe's helicopter. Chloe, a fucking helicopter is funny. Yeah, Charlie don't give a fuck. She's just chilling with her boyfriend. She doesn't give a fuck anymore. Virgo's pretty much like playing games or whatever. Konosuke is just doing Konosuke stuff. Pods is just, like you said, making money off of the autism shit. I don't know how you making money off the autism shit, but hey, whatever pays the bills, I guess.
It's actually about. It's just so odd to me. Because if he would just come out and be like, yeah, you know what? Looking back on it, really reflecting, hearing what you guys are saying, I can see why this was so misleading for so many people. I didn't mean for it to be. And yeah, maybe I misunderstood some of these things. This would not have been nearly as big of a deal as it has turned into. And I went back and looked at some of his previous dramas, I suppose, and that is a common thread with Pirate Software. Like in World of Warcraft, he made a mistake, but he completely refused to acknowledge the mistake, and it made it a much bigger snowball into an avalanche for him, which led to a ton of other problems. He just has this inability to, like, accept that he can make mistakes. Like, he does things
We're watching John
wrong
Wick
sometimes. And he needs to recognize that it's okay to be like, yeah, I did do that wrong. You're right, I was incorrect in this. And it would save so much of a headache. But he just comes across as a narcissist. He really does, unfortunately. Like, I'm not an armchair Reddit psychologist here going to diagnose him as a narcissist or anything, but, like, that's what it comes across as. He just refuses to admit that he ever does anything incorrectly. It admits no faults of his own, ever. Except, I suppose, to Ross here, which maybe this is the beginning of a big character development for Pirate Software.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It is not. Yeah, Pirate Software is a piece of shit. There's no denying that shit. It's just... It's just wild. It's literally just wild that you cannot just take accountability for your actions. It's low-key kind of crazy. What's going on then? It's about Pirate Software just being an egomaniac, just like someone you know. But for like times where people actually take accountability for their actions, and then they strive. Not me, obviously, but it's like, I don't really get it. Like, you don't, like, you stop being an asshole, man. That's all you have to do, just stop being a fucking asshole. You stop being an asshole, man. But he doesn't want to stop being an asshole. He just wants to continue down the path of just ego-driven, just bullshit on top of bullshit on top of bullshit. It's just tiring at this point, man. It's kind of crazy how you don't take accountability for your actions and you still continue to like strive or make money and all this other shit. I mean, Pirate Software is a low count now, but yeah, I mean he's still making money. I mean, like, just run that nigga to, I'm kidding, but stop giving that nigga views, stop giving him attention, and just like just let him learn his lesson, bro. Get the consequences for his fucking actions. You see the new Fortnite trailer? No, I did not. I also keep forgetting that we bullied that spirit guy with Will and King Sly T. Pretty much defending Chloe. Yep. Pretty much. Watch it. Fine.